What's good in that chat? What's up, Wolfie and JD and Tashika and Amit Cherry and Fleur and everyone popping in here? I appreciate you for being here. If you are ready and excited for some debates, make sure to let me know by double tapping on that phone screen and by sharing out this live with a couple friends or just by copying that fucking link. So for everyone coming up in here, we are going to get into our debates here very shortly. We just got to give it a second here to, build up the stream and get some people in. So, but anyways, one more time, I appreciate everyone for being here. It's been a long day of travel, but at the end of the day, here we are. So we have a couple guest requests. Might as well start bringing them up. If you are in those guests, and make sure you think God is real. All right, without further ado, let's move on to our first individual. Hey, how old are you?
18.
18, what year were you born in?
2006.
Okay, what month?
January.
Okay, all right. I have a feeling that you're not actually 18. Everyone coming up in here, y'all, make sure that we are hopping in those guest requests if you do think God's real. Well, hello, how old are you?
I just wanted to say that I really like
Raptured! If you're gonna come up here and say something nice, I love you too, but Raptured. We are just looking for some debates here. I'm gonna put out a quick poll. Drop a smiley face in the comment section if you like this topic. Drop a sad face if you don't. But without further ado, we're still gonna try to get our first individual up in here, y'all. Let's go ahead and load them in here. Everyone be patient. It takes us a minute or two to get a first debate going. What's up? How old are you? Hello?
Oh, hey there. Yo. I'm 42. I didn't even mean to,
No worries, they didn't mean to request up. We're gonna move on to our next guest. Everyone just give us a second here. What's up, how old are you?
Hey, you're a bitch, nigga.
Okay, and you are 17 years old. You rely on your mother and your father for sustenance.
And sucked his dick, and Baby Bob watched, and you sucked dick, and you fucked Parker. You fucked him in his dick.
Okay, do you think that God's real?
Well, if you fucked Parker and sucked his dick, then yeah.
Okay, I have a question. On a scale of 1 to 10, how delusional are you?
Well, if you fucked him and sucked his dick, then I guess I'm not that delusional.
Are you like one of those like shadow writers for what is it called? Wattpad?
Fuck him and suck his dick program where.
Is that like something you want me to do?
Fuck him and suck his dick. You fuck Parker, and
I'm just gonna move on to the next guest. Yeah, everyone. I don't know why we can't get our debate going here. You just got to give us a second here, ladies and gentlemen. This is messy. Hey, what's up? How old are you?
22.
Perfect. Do you think that God? Well, okay. Of course you think that God's real. Your name.
Hold
is the
on,
Son
give
of
me
Jesus
1
Christ.
minute. Alexa, turn down a notch.
Okay, right. So yeah, can you give me an argument for the existence of the Christian God, sir?
All right, so what makes you think God doesn't exist? Like, what's the reason?
Well, I only would hold to beliefs in which we'd have any evidence to indicate them as being true. I don't think that we have any evidence to indicate that it's the most likely scenario that the Christian God exists. And then further, yet on top of that, I believe that there's some good reason to, believe that the Christian God can't exist. But regardless of that, why do you think that the Christian God does exist?
So what started the world, would you say? Like, what
Well, I don't know what started the world.
How did humanity come along, would you say?
Well, I mean, like we could go through like a theory of abiogenesis on how life came from non-life. I could detail like evolution to you. I could even give you the Big Bang theory. But like regardless of going through those, right? All things considered here, like I don't know what started the universe, but what I'm saying here is neither do you. But
So, do you think the wars have been getting better or worse throughout time? Have wars been getting better or worse?
Is this a fucking interview?
No, you want me to give you why I think God is real. I'm asking you a question. If you don't want me to find a way to prove to you God is real, don't bring me up at all.
So what do these questions have to do with one another? You asked me like how I thought we get here, and I give you a long-winded intellectual response.
And then I'm asking you a question. What's wrong with me asking your opinion on something? Then
what do these things have to do with one another?
You'll find out.
Okay, ask your question.
I said, so have the wars been getting better or worse?
I don't know. All wars are bad, man.
The worse the wars get, the closer to Jesus' time will come, because he says to his disciples, you'll hear of wars and rumors of wars, kingdoms against kingdoms. The worse they get, the closer to his time we will get.
Okay, thanks for preaching. So, why do you think that the Christian God exists? Can you give me an argument?
That's exactly why. Because the worse everything gets, the closer to his time is.
Die, thank you for the little crown.
Because without, like...
Okay, so let me get this straight. You think that the Christian God exists because wars are getting worse?
Correct. Yes.
Okay, I don't think that this idea that wars are getting worse logically entails that the Christian God exists.
But that is one logical reason.
Can you like demonstrate how that's the case?
If it wasn't a reason, wouldn't they be getting better?
Okay, once again, another like random gibberish bullshit statement. So you're saying even wars would be getting better if the Christian God did not exist, but because wars are not getting better, the Christian God must exist?
The way I see it, yes.
Yeah, this is I don't even know how to engage in these points. I don't even know what to say to you. Like this is legitimate gibberish. Like I want to I'm making stop talking. I'm talking. I'm making myself incredibly clear here. This is a completely gibberish point. I can't even engage with it because of how incomprehensible it is. Do you have any other argument?
Let me think. The prophecies he's done, everything he said that will come to pass, like I said.
Okay, can you name one prophecy in which Jesus fulfilled?
Turning water to wine.
Where the fuck was that prophesized?
That's in John. That's one of his prophecies.
What is a prophecy?
I think that was one of them.
What is a prophecy?
Well, I could be wrong.
What is a prophecy, sir?
Give me a minute to try and think through his...
Hello? Hello? Am I going crazy? Am I in a padded room? What is a prophecy? Oh, take your time.
I'm trying to think of one of his prophecies.
No, I'm asking you what a prophecy is.
Something that needs to be fulfilled.
Okay, yeah, and where in the Bible did it say that a man named Jesus would turn water into wine?
It's in John.
That's a descriptive account that a Christian believes occurred, but it's not a prophecy in the sense of something that will occur in the future.
Sure about that?
Yes. I mean, would you like to go ahead and read off the text yourself and demonstrate to me how it's a prophecy? I think it's just a descriptive account. It's not like prophetic.
Okay, bud. So let's just say he does exist. Let's say one day you do meet him. What will you do? Like, what will you do when you meet him?
Okay, so you're not able to read off the text to me? Just making sure?
What, you want me to find the text and read it?
Yes, yeah. I want you to demonstrate to me how Jesus turning water into wine is prophetic.
How to you is it it's not pathetic.
I didn't say pathetic, I said prophetic.
Oh,
right?
prophetic.
How it's a prophecy.
It's a prophecy because it's something he had to do.
Okay, hey sir, I think that your internet's cutting out. It looks like you lost your internet. We're just going to move on to our next guest here. If we're in those guest requests, guys, make sure that we do believe in the Christian God here to y'all. We are just looking for some debates here today. What's up? How old are you?
Well, fucker right in the pussy.
Okay, you sound about 12. We're going to move on to our next guest here, everyone. Y'all coming into the stream, make sure to hop into this guest request if you do think that the Christian God is real. We're just looking for some debates here today. I don't know what the hell that first guest was. What's up? How old are you?
13.
All right, moving on to our next guest, y'all. Please, if you're in those guest requests, make sure that you're at least 18 years old. Y'all, we are off to a terrible start tonight. I swear to God, talking to that first guest was like smoking some ganja. I am lost in the sauce. Hey, what's going on? How old are you? Okay, so I heard I'm... That's what I heard. Would you like to repeat your age?
I am 16.
All right, you got to be at least 18. Goodbye, fetus. Let's go and see what Trinity has to say. Everyone, give us a moment. Okay, right? Hop out those guest requests if you're a fetus. Hello, how old are you?
Hello?
Hi, what's your age?
Hi. I mean, oh my gosh, I did not know it was going to be on here. Whew. Okay, I only have like one really question.
Can you tell me your age?
Yeah, I'm 18. Oh, I'm sorry, my heart's
Okay,
beating.
what year are you born in?
2004. Oh my gosh.
Okay, Trinity, it makes me really happy that you're excited to be here, but you can't be 18 if you're born in 2004.
I know.
What the fuck is going on tonight? Y'all, all 1.2 thousand of you guys, be patient, give us some time, we'll get some debates going. What is your age?
44.
Awesome, right? So do you think that God's real?
I do. Yes,
Awesome.
I do.
And what's your religion, ma'am?
So I am a Christian. I'm also Native American. So we also have our own beliefs, but when I left the reservation, we became Christian at 8 years old.
All right, so you're a Christian. Yeah, can you give me an argument to demonstrate that the Christian God is real?
Oh, absolutely. Because so my son did his senior thesis on the parallelity between God and science. And he goes to he went to Columbia University. And you can't believe one without the other, because God gave man the intelligence and the common sense and the know-how to be able to put words to creation.
Okay, so yeah, can you demonstrate this through an argument? You still haven't made an argument.
Well, so I'm trying to think of how I want to word this. Bear with me here. So you want me to explain how God is real, right?
Exactly.
So tell me I want someone to tell me another place in this entire galaxy where it's like Earth.
Well, what do you mean? What do you mean when you say it's like Earth?
So there's all these planets out there, but there's nobody else on it.
Are you talking about another planet with life? As far as our current understanding of the universe goes, we don't know of any other planets with life on them.
Correct. I'm talking about our current knowledge of what man currently knows.
Yeah, I'm saying we don't know of any other planets in the universe with life on them.
We don't for sure, but from what we have ascertained, there isn't, and there can't be.
No, that's actually not that's not believed by scientists whatsoever. No one would hold to the belief that there can't be life on other planets. In fact, all major institutions of science are actively looking for it.
There can't be life like ours, is what I'm trying to say.
I absolutely refute that. I think that that's abundantly false. I think there definitely
Can you
could be
explain to
life
me
like
why?
ours in the universe. Well, I mean, yeah, there's life permitting conditions in the universe, right? Just as there is on Earth, right?
Correct.
So I don't see where we draw the conclusion that there can't be life on life permitting bodies. That's just gibberish. But I'm excited to hear your argument for why you think God exists.
Well, because in a way to make other people understand it, I don't know how I would be able to do that. It's a conviction I have.
Okay, well, yeah. What reason? What reason do you possess to believe in God?
So I shouldn't be here.
Okay, because you don't have a reason to believe in God?
No, I have a reason to believe in God.
And what is it?
It's because I should not be alive right now.
When you said you shouldn't be here, you didn't mean that you shouldn't be on the live. It's because
that is correct.
You shouldn't be alive. Okay.
Correct. That is correct. Yes.
Thank you for the corgi. Well, this is a jump.
Well, and the reason I believe so is when I was 14, something.
I don't care about your personal life, with all due respect. Just kind of sum it up and tell me the main points.
I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you. So when I was 14, something terrible happened to me, and I should not have survived. As a matter of fact, the doctor said I would not survive. There was nothing else they could do. And I believe prayers and what I felt of the touch of God's hand and his healing spirit, I believe that is what healed me.
Okay, yeah. Can you give me an argument for that?
Because there was no hope through modern medical science.
Well, just because something seems as if there's no hope through our modern innovation in science doesn't automatically mean that it was the Christian God.
But in my conviction, it is.
Yeah, so give me the reason to believe that.
Well, it's faith.
It's faith. Okay, so we've spent 10 minutes just deducing your worldview down to faith. So, hey, I have a question. Is faith a reliable standard for dictating what is true and false about reality?
Is science?
With all due respect, can you answer my question?
To some people, it is, yes.
Okay, so if I have faith that you're wrong and faith is a reliable standard for determining truth, this means that you actually are wrong.
If that is your conviction and your belief, yes, I believe that you have your convictions. Yes.
I appreciate you for the concession. You just admitted that you are actually wrong. So I will take that as a Dean W. Do you have anything else that you want to add here?
Again, I will take your belief and your faith in what you say.
Joshy, thank you so much for the meteor shower. I appreciate you so much for the love. Let's get a W, Joshy, in that comment section. I appreciate you so much for that love, Joshy. It's so good to see you. We're gonna go to move on to our next guest here, chat. I don't know what's going on with her. We're just gonna go to move on here. But massive W, Joshy. Let's go and get our next guest up in here. Everyone, just allow us a minute to get him loaded in here. What's up? How old are you?
I'm 34 years old.
Perfecto, right? Awesome. Do you think that God is real?
Yes, I do. I'm a Christian.
So you're a Christian. Awesome. Could you give me an argument to demonstrate the existence of the Christian God, sir?
Well, it's not really my place to make you believe in God.
Okay, what are you doing in my guest request then?
Well, I was going to tell you that, if you have any questions, to ask me.
About your faith. I sure do.
Yeah.
I sure do. Yeah. Do you think that ethnic cleansing is always wrong?
Can you be more precise?
Yeah, sure. So ethnic cleansing is the eradication or unaliving of a group of people strictly because of their ethnicity. Do you think that is always wrong?
Yeah, that would be wrong to kill somebody just because of their ethnicity.
Okay, so this is evidence against the Christian God, because in the scripture, God is defined as being all good. But if you're saying ethnic cleansing is always wrong, well then we'd have to say when God commanded ethnic cleansing in 1 Samuel 15:3 that God was doing something wrong. In 1 Samuel 15:3, God told Saul and his men to ethnically cleanse the Amalekites, man, woman, and child.
No, you bring up a good point. You got the facts right there. All I can tell you is, man, it's just, from me growing up, in I guess you call it the Bible Belt. I live in Louisiana. There's just been too many things that is going on in my life that just there's no way that I just can't believe in them.
Are you talking about miracles? Are you talking about maybe personal occurrences with the Christian God? Muslims, Hindus, and Buddhists say the same thing. How do you know that they're wrong?
I'm not saying that they're wrong at all, though.
Well, you are, because if you're a Christian, this would strictly entail that, the Islamic faith, the Hindu faith, and the Buddhist faith are all incorrect because they don't recognize Jesus Christ as the Son of God, nor do they recognize his word as divine.
But see, there's two different kinds of Christians, though. There's Christians that sit there and judge you and are like, oh, if you don't believe in God, you're going to hell, you're a mean person, you're a wicked person. And then there's the other Christians that's just like, it's not my place to judge other people based on their ethnicity, race, or anything else. It's, that would be a double standard and make me a hypocrite.
And that's not what I'm saying at all, man. So, for instance, I have a friend named Adam, and Adam is 6'2", and Adam is going to school to get a degree in engineering. If someone said that Adam was a 5'4" man going to school to get a degree in philosophy, well, they would be wrong, right? Because the objective truth is that he is 6'2" and he's getting a degree in engineering, right? And this is essentially what I'm saying about other people's beliefs in a God. Because if you think God is a divine entity that can go by the name of Jesus Christ, that resurrected from the dead and died for our sins, but then a Muslim would disagree with you, or a Hindu or a Buddhist would disagree with you, well, they'd have to be wrong under your worldview. So all that I'm asking you is, well, how can you deny their personal experiences while in the same breath using your personal experiences as your only form of justification for your belief?
Okay, so like if we were in the same room all together discussing this, yeah, I could see where that, because I mean, you'd have to face the music right there and be like, okay, do you believe in, our faith? And I would have to, I would say no. I would tell them that they were, that they were wrong. But I mean, let me ask you this: is it that if let's say, in order for you to believe, would God just have to appear to himself to you, or what?
No, I just have to be given sufficient evidence. But of course, I couldn't tell you what sufficient evidence would be because I've never been given it before, which is why I don't believe. But man, if you don't have an argument for the existence of the Christian God, I don't mind just moving on to the next guest here. But I appreciate you for coming up here and being respectful, man.
All right, thank you.
Of course, have a good rest of your night. We're going to move on to our next guest here, chat. If we are in the guest request, make sure that we do think that the Christian God exists. We're just looking for some debates here today, y'all. What's up, Owen? How old are you?
No, I'm 23.
Perfect. Do you think that the Christian God is real?
I have a reason to believe some sort of creator.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm up here just looking to talk to Christians
then your
particularly.
answer would be yes. I believe in the creator, and I would put it to the Christian God.
Yeah. So why do you think that the Christian God is real, sir?
Yeah. So if I look at the Big Bang, so if I look back, right? So the Big Bang, that's the kind of the counter argument. The Big Bang, and then life came from that over time, and then evolution. So the greatest question I have, and what doesn't make any sense to me, is that we have life that came from a magma ball, right? Like the Earth was a magma ball at one point, and then we have life now. Can you fill me in what I'm missing?
Well, I mean, I feel like I could go over theories of protoplanet formation, like the Big Bang, evolution, abiogenesis, and everything in between. But I don't really see that as necessary to do, right? Because I think at the end of the day, I can very willingly admit that maybe I don't know everything, and I couldn't fill in all the gaps, and I couldn't give you good reason to believe that a naturalistic world is most likely to be the case. But what I'm saying here is this is also true of a theistic world, right? We have no reason to indicate that a God exists or a God doesn't exist. That's why I specifically assign myself to be an agnostic. But I do believe we have reason to indicate that the Christian God doesn't exist. So that's why we are just talking about the Christian God here today. So why do you think that the Christian God does not exist?
Does exist, you mean?
Yes, my apologies.
Yes. Yeah, so I believe in a creator. I would say that what our modern world is compared to what happened after the Big Bang does not make sense without the creator.
Can you explain to me why?
Yeah, so me and you are literally talking to each other on TikTok on two cell phones that came from a Big Bang. That makes zero sense.
I mean, you're not really giving an argument here. You're just kind of saying words. Are you able to give an argument that the naturalistic worldview is not likely?
Yeah, so we have consciousness. Can you explain to me how a consciousness would exist without an intellectual being creating it?
Yeah, why would consciousness necessitate an intellectual creator?
Because where we originated from.
Yeah, I don't think that we can explain our origins, man. But I'm going to say that you can't explain them either, right? It doesn't make any sense to posit the idea that because we can't explain our origins, this means that a God must exist. People have done this. One second, sir. People have done this for thousands and thousands of years. For instance, 1,000 years ago, people couldn't explain the ocean, so they just assigned that to a god named Poseidon. People couldn't explain thunder and lightning, so they assigned that to a god named Zeus. I mean, just because we don't know something, you can't just apply a creator to it. It's called the God of the Gaps fallacy.
Yeah, I agree. I think like Greek mythology, like it'd be an interesting.
Well, if you were to agree to that, well, then you'd realize that you're committing a fallacy right now. You're saying that we don't know how this occurred, so therefore the Christian God exists. That's a logical jump that you cannot make. And historically, when it has been made, they've always been wrong. Like, I mean, like we could even just construct an argument based off of probabilities, because we've always been wrong in assigning God to something that we didn't know, and then later figured out that it was caused via naturalistic reasons. That it is the case now, since we don't know the cause of the universe, that it's more likely to be naturalistic than theistic, given our track record.
Yeah, so I would say it's more likely to be theistic.
Okay, give an argument why.
Yes, life. I think life is the main separator between theistic and what was the word you used? Sorry.
Okay, well, yeah, why would we only expect... Okay, yeah, why is life more probable under a theistic worldview than a naturalistic worldview?
Because we've never been able to replicate life coming from no life. That is
Okay.
that they do.
We've never been able to replicate like biological life coming from things that weren't biologically alive.
Yeah, can you give me an example?
Yeah, sure. Is God biologically alive prior to incarnation?
No.
Okay, so even under your worldview, biological life is coming from non-biological life.
Yes, because that would be a theistic view.
But you understand that your critique of the naturalistic account of reality is that it would posit biological life coming from non-biological life.
Yes, but
when this is exactly what you are describing under your theistic account of reality.
Yes, but through a not through a scientific terms. It'd be through a theistic term.
I don't understand how this is a response to the words that I'm saying whatsoever. You are saying that my issue with a naturalistic account of reality is biological life coming from non-biological life, when this is literally what happened under the theistic worldview. Biological life came from non-biological life.
Yes, but what I'm trying to explain to you is that there is a possibility of a higher power that has created this, right?
Yeah, God possibly exists, like a God. Okay.
Yes, so that is my argument.
So your argument is because a God is possible, a God is necessary?
I don't understand how it's not necessary.
You don't understand how it's not necessary? What the fuck do you mean? Give me an argument for this idea that it is.
Yes, so do you like believe in like probabilities? Like, are you like the probability of like everything lining up right perfectly like in our universe? Like I still believe in space and stuff, right? I'm not like
the probability of everything lining up right in our universe.
So
this is called the fine-tuning argument. So essentially, you think like there's like certain constants, right, that govern the universe that would allow for life to emerge, and they're very unlikely to occur given randomness. So they're probably like made that way by a creator. Well, the issue with this argument is the idea that the same universal constants that govern the universe and allow life to emerge are also the universal constants that govern the universe and allow black holes to emerge, right? So the hypothesis that the universe is finely tuned for life is just as likely as the hypothesis that the universe is finely tuned for black holes.
Yeah, so what do you mean by finely tuned for black holes?
Finely tuned for black, like you were talking about all these properties and constants of the universe that are perfect to allow life to emerge, right? But those same universal constants are perfect and allow black holes to emerge. If they're any different, life wouldn't be in the universe, and if they were any different, black holes wouldn't be in the universe.
Yeah, so I argued that a higher power has created all of that. Like I'm not saying like a higher power created Earth only, and everything else around it was already there.
You particularly argued that a higher power created the universe for life, but the hypothesis that a higher power created the universe for black holes is just as likely.
Yeah, sure. Okay, then yes.
So how do you know that if a higher power didn't create a universe for black holes?
Yeah, sure. So we can say that a higher power also created a perfect environment for black holes, but he also
so you believe in a God that just created the universe to allow black holes to exist?
For the sake of the argument, sure.
Oh well, that's that's not the Christian God.
I mean, how do you know?
How do you know? Because, oh my God, have you read Genesis 1, the account of creation under the Christian
Alright,
worldview?
so I literally can't. I'm so bad at. I'm not like very intellectual on this.
Don't worry, because I am.
I was lying. I have the same views as you. I am terrible at this.
Okay. We're going to move on to our next guest here, chat. It looks like our views are kind of dwindling on this topic, so we may switch our topic here, chat. We may hit a restart and switch our topic, but we'll do a couple more guests, see if we could get the stream to pick up. For everyone coming up in here, we are just looking to debate some Christians, y'all. Make sure that we're double tapping on that phone screen. Let's try to double tap up to 100,000 likes here, y'all. We're going to move on to our next guest here, chat. If you do want to support me, my Venmo and my PayPal are in my bio, ladies and gentlemen. But without further ado, let's go and get our next guest up in here, y'all. Also, y'all, do you guys think that he was legitimately trying to play devil's advocate and he was an atheist? Or do you think he was actually a Christian and he just couldn't give me a counter argument?
No.
What's up? How old are you?
Hey, God is fucking real, dude.
All right, give me an argument, sir. Give me an argument, sir. Can I have an argument?
Well, when you pray to God.
Okay,
and when you don't,
confetti.
So, obviously, God is real, because why else would you pray?
All right, what's your religion?
Christian.
Oh, I appreciate you for the garland, that one gay. Why the fuck do Muslims pray to Allah if Allah isn't real, sir?
Because there's different types of gods.
Sarah, I appreciate you for the $12 on PayPal. Thank you for the love, W. Sarah, in that chat. You think
different types of gods. And
wait, 1 second. You think that the Islamic God exists? Sorry, Sam, thank you for the $12 on PayPal. Thank you so much,
there's also
Sam.
Greek gods.
W. Sam. And you said you're a Christian?
Yeah.
How can you be a Christian, but you also think that the Greek gods exist? How many gods are there?
Too many.
Too many? So the Bible says that there is exactly one God.
Yeah, but there's also multiple gods.
So you disagree with the Bible?
No.
Well, you disagree with the Bible because, once again, the Bible says there's exactly one God.
But one god could be many gods.
No, actually it can't. That's not how counting works.
But every religion has a different type of god, and they would describe God in different...
I'm so sorry. Did you just say that one God can actually be more than one God?
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a question. Are you one person?
No, it could be multiple.
I'm talking about you, Antonio. Patrick, thank you so much for the $10 on Venmo. And I know you're the one gay. I appreciate you for the love, Patrick. Let's get a W Patrick going on in that comment section. Thank you so much for the love, Patrick. Okay, be honest, Antonio. Are you one person?
I could be multiple people.
Okay, so did you just come up here to be like intellectually dishonest? Did you come up here to waste my time? Is this you trying to save face, but in all reality, it just makes you look worse because you're saying the stupidest shit known to mankind?
Nothing stupid.
Yes, it is like quite stupid to say that you could be multiple people. Listen, I came here to have like actual conversation. Excuse me, sir. I came here for actual conversation. If you can't legitimately engage in, good convo with me, I'm moving on because I'm not going to let you waste my time. I'll just ask you one last time, right? So how are you one person, Antonio?
It could be multiple people.
Okay, could you explain to me how you could be multiple people?
Different versions of you exist in different people's minds every day.
So obviously that guy just wasn't, didn't meet the minimum criteria for coming up here and debating. Let's go to move on to our next guest here, y'all. Let's see what our next guest has to say. Everyone just allow us a minute here. All right, Shadant isn't loading in. Moving on to our next guest here. Let's go and get Chris up in here, ladies and gentlemen. Dean, am I still considering deism? I sure am. Let's go and see what our next guest here has to say. Antonio got smoked. Hell yeah. Someone in the chat said he was spitting. No, he wasn't. Hey, Chris, how old are you?
I'm 41.
41, sweet. Do you think that the Christian God exists?
Yes.
Awesome, yeah, sure. Can you give me an argument to demonstrate the existence of the Christian God?
Reality. Is reality subjective or objective?
It depends on like what parts of reality. Like what specific?
Like, I mean, is there an underlining, like, Is there an underlying reality to all of what we experience? Like, I know there's 8 billion
what I'm saying is that
perspectives.
there's some things that exist in the universe that are objective, and there's some things that exist in the universe that are subjective.
Name something subjective that's not based on a
My
perspective,
preferences.
one perspective or another. But that's your perspective, though.
Well, subjectivity is so something is subjective if it is mind dependent, and something is objective if it's mind independent. So when you ask me the question, name something subjective that isn't mind dependent, well, the definition of subjective is mind dependent. But I'm kind of confused here. What's your argument for the existence of the Christian God?
No. I'm saying, I think you're confused with what I was saying. I said, name something, like, as far as reality is concerned, name something that's subjective that's not coming from a perspective. Like I'm saying, we have 8 million perspectives, right?
That's what subjectiveness is. This is like you asking me the question.
I know, exactly.
One second, Chris.
And that's what I'm saying.
1 second, Chris. This is like you asking me the question, name something blue that isn't blue.
No, because you're confused at what I'm asking.
No, you told me to name
I'm saying I'm
something
confusing
subjective.
you on what I'm asking.
You asked me to name something.
No, I'm not asking what's
that isn't
subjective. No, I'm saying, okay, so is there an underlying reality but beyond like the 8 billion perspectives that exist?
I don't even know what that question means. Are you asking me if there's objective facts about reality? Sure, there's objective facts about reality. What the fuck is going on?
Okay, so morality is basically not causing a misfortune to your fellow man, right?
In some contexts, yes. In some contexts, no. Sometimes it could be good to cause a misfortune to your fellow man.
Okay, give me an instance where it'd be good to cause a intentional misfortune.
Yeah, if someone is stealing my grandma's purse, it'd be good for me to stop them from stealing my grandma's purse.
That's not causing a misfortune.
Yes, it is.
But you're not causing them a misfortune.
If I beat their face in to stop them from stealing my grandma's property, that's definitely me causing them a misfortune.
That's you causing them a misfortune, but they're causing that misfortune first.
Okay,
I'm talking about an intentional.
What's the relevance to
uncaused misfortune?
Can you describe to me?
Morality would be objective.
No, I don't think that morality is objective.
Morality is objective.
I don't think so. Can you give me an argument for that?
Because I would say it's better that we treat each other right, and we have an infinite regress of people treating each other wrong. That's why, that's how we get to the subjective morality. But let's say the first person, or not even let's say a person who knew they were doing someone wrong, didn't do it.
Chat, I honestly, I'm just about to end my stream. Chat, I'm just about to end my stream and restart with a different topic, or maybe we could just change the background now. I don't know what the fuck this Chris guy is saying. If I'm being completely honest, chat, just breaking the fourth wall here. I literally feel like I'm smoking ganja right now. I feel like I'm tripping. I feel like I'm watching one of those videos on YouTube where they just show you weird graphics and you just feel like you're tripping and shit. I don't know what the fuck is going on right now, right? So Chris, do you have a legitimate argument here? Are you just confusing me? Because when you say that morality is objective because subjective and not causing suffering and infinite regresses, all I can do is look at you and slightly tilt my head because you're making no sense.
Okay. Morality is objective because morality isn't good versus evil. Morality is right and wrong. But we have to define what right and wrong are, right?
We have to define.
So right is just in accordance with right. So right is just in accordance with the law, right? But are all laws good? Would you say all laws are good?
So I don't think.
No, definitely not.
Right,
so some laws are evil.
Oh, yeah, some laws are evil because I don't think that what is morally right and wrong is predicated off of legality.
but then legality would be that's more so on the ethics side, what society
What the
decides.
dude? All right,
but society decides.
Chris,
that,
I'm gonna cut you the fuck off. You're saying nothing at all. So should I just skip you or chat? Should I just skip him? I'm just gonna skip him. I'm just gonna skip him. Katie, I appreciate you for the resubscription. I appreciate you for letting me know in the chat. We're gonna move on to our next guest here, y'all. This is a mess. I was traveling all day, so I'm a little bit tired, and I just don't know what the fuck is going on with this nonsense. Katie, thank you for the paper crane. What's up, Antonio? How old are you? Okay, Antonio automatically dropped. Y'all, hey, put a 1 in chat if you want to see me debate abortion. Put a 2 in chat if you want to see me debate why are men superior to women. And put a 3 in chat if you'd like to see me debate with people that think being a lesbian is wrong. I'm thinking here just because of the crowd that we've drawn given the current topic, that like a live talking to people about why they think being a lesbian is wrong would probably be the most effective, because we got a bunch of Christians in here, and who in society is most likely to think that it's wrong to be a lesbian? The Christians. But what's up, Landon? How old are you?
I'm 18.
18, perfect. What year were you born in?
2005.
2005, sweet. Do you think that God is real?
Yeah, I do.
All right, what's your particular religion?
Honestly, not like one in particular, but like I do believe in like the Christian God, for say.
Okay, so you're a Christian. Yeah, can you give me an argument for the existence of the Christian God?
Well, that's kind of just like a blatant question. Could you give me like a valid reason that he's not real?
So are you saying that you're just going to assume he's real until you're presented with any critiques of that?
But
so I'm just going to assume that Stewie Griffin created the universe. Can you give me a valid reason why that's wrong?
The people that were backing Jesus, like, I don't think they would have just gotten killed. Like,
well, that's what the followers of Prophet Muhammad did, and particularly his grandson as well as his grandson's family.
But if it was their lives,
did they die for a lie?
I'm sorry, I'll let you talk. What were you saying?
So yeah, the family of Prophet Muhammad in the context of Islam all died for.
But it wasn't just Katie,
just his
family.
Thank you for the forever rose. I appreciate you for that.
It wasn't
just his family. Hey man, I'm gonna ask you a question.
Okay.
Did the followers and family of Prophet Muhammad die for a lie when they were all martyred?
I don't know, Muhammad.
Well, if you are a Christian, you specifically don't believe that Muhammad was a prophet. You don't believe that Muhammad had any legitimate conversations with any angels or deities, because you believe that Jesus is the Son of God, and Muhammad's apparent spiritual experiences with the angel Gabriel would indicate that Jesus was not the Son of God.
But
so when you make the argument that you believe that Christianity is true because followers of Jesus died for their belief in Jesus being God, I don't think that this is a reliable evidentiary standard for determining truth, for the reason that followers of Prophet Muhammad died for their belief in him being a prophet.
I'm not saying that, like, oh shit, I just lost my train of thought of what you were talking about. Just 1 second, sorry, bro.
Di, thank you for the massage. I appreciate you for that. All right, y'all. I think that we're going to move on to why is being a lesbian wrong. We've been live on this topic for 40 minutes, and I'm not going to lie. All the people that have come up, I just haven't been able to give an argument here.
But, okay, hold on. I'll give you, like, a valid argument.
Okay, let's hear it.
So, in the last guy that you were talking to, he said that you don't believe that that one person can be multiple beings, right?
I asked him if he was one person, and he rejected that.
I'm not bashing you. I don't know why you're getting so defensive.
Can you give me an argument, or can I kick you?
What is gender fluid then? Like, is that kind of not like the same like ideology?
Do you think that having a fluid gender makes you more than one person? You're crazy.
What if you change your name? Then aren't you technically a different person?
No.
What do you, I mean, like on the inside, technically no, but physically yes.
No.
Yeah.
That's not how it fucking works. I'm so sorry.
Yes, it is.
Hey, so I had a teacher in school. His name was Patrick Harris. If I called him Mr. Harris, was he a different person than Patrick?
That's not the same
Harris?
fucking thing.
Patrick, speaking of Patrick, I appreciate you for the $10 on Venmo. I appreciate you for the love. Let's get a W Patrick in the comment section.
That's
sir, you're speaking out of your fucking ass. With all due respect, How?
You are.
You said if someone is gender fluid, they're more than one person.
I'm literally giving you a valid argument, and you're just shitting on it. Like that's what you do. To
what the
everybody.
fuck is the valid argument here?
What is not the valid argument here?
You said if someone is gender fluid, they're more than one person.
If you change your fucking name, you are a different person in my eyes.
Okay, so first of all, being trans doesn't mean you change anything, but it definitely doesn't mean that you change your name.
I'm not saying it definitely means you change your name. I'm saying...
What the fuck are you saying?
You're fucking retarded, actually.
Okay, like, Landon, so you think it's acceptable to call me slurs? You think it's acceptable to say slurs? Bro, everyone, I want y'all to fucking point and laugh at this person. I want y'all to point and laugh at this person. I want everyone to point and laugh at this person right now before I kick him and we restart our stream, because what the fuck is going on? I don't know what the fuck is going on. What the fuck is going on? What the fuck is going on? What the fuck is going on? I'm gonna end my stream. I'm never gonna go live again. What were they saying? They were saying that if you're gender fluid, you're more than one person, and if you're trans, that means that you changed your name that made you more than one person, and then he slurred me? What the fuck is going on? Like what the fuck? What the fuck? Okay, we're gonna restart our stream, and we're just gonna come right back at you with me asking people why they think being a lesbian is wrong. I'll be right back, chat. See y'all soon.
Car can be recycled. More than 80% of the car can be recycled. And as a matter of fact, Hyundai and Kia, South Korea, has been doing it for years.
I never disputed that, right? But the point I'm referencing specifically is that there are still parts of these things that cannot be recycled, which you're not acknowledging as well. So you can't just say it's a problem with... Hold up. You can't just say it's a problem. You can't just say... You can't just... Please, bro. You can't just say it's a problem with renewable energy and then not acknowledge it with any other industry. Does that make sense?
Well, so instead of using tires, what do you use?
I'm not arguing to use different things. What I'm saying is that, again, right...
I'm arguing that we have to use different things.
Okay, so then what... But you're not giving me a viable alternative. So you could say that there are negative impacts from different types of business. I'm just going to start muting. You can say you can say that there are negative impacts of certain types of renewable energies, but you have to do that in comparison to other types of energy sources.
Why do we? Okay, so let me ask you this: why do tires go bad?
I don't know. It's the usage. I don't know.
Well, because what happens to them? They go flat. Once you get a flat tire, you can't use it anymore, right? Unless you get it plugged, and then it's no good anymore. So when we come up with a way to make a tire that you don't have to worry about airing up, which they're doing it, they're trying to make something, but nobody's accepting it. What they do is they buy the patent for it, just like they do with, zero emission energy. Once somebody buys a patent to it, they bury it because big companies don't want it to get out.
Patents last like 20 years. What are you talking about?
What's that?
Patents last 20 years. They expire. Other companies can produce it.
Right.
What are you talking about?
20 years. So who buys the patents? So if I make a tire,
companies that want to produce this invention, they typically invent something and then they buy a patent for it.
And then what they do is they buy the patent and then they make it a little bit different, but they still make it the same, because if you have a tire that never, it's the same thing with healthcare, but if you have a tire that never goes flat and never goes bad, they don't have a return customer, correct?
So this is a bad argument because other types of firms would have incentives to create this particular type of good. So you saying they just limit us from being able to see this, you'd have to provide any reason to believe that, because there is quite literally an incentive for any other company to go out and to do these types of things.
Yeah, but they won't let them do it because you have to be a conglomerate to even get anything out there anymore. Like you can't, I can't compete with Firestone if I make a tire that's better than what they make. I can't compete with them. And then if I can, what they do is they say, "Oh, well,
So are you
we'll
arguing
buy
against
the rights to
capitalism
your
then?
product."
Wait, are you making an argument against capitalism?
Well, look, I love capitalism on a smaller scale. Okay, I think that this whole monopoly crap is going nuts. I believe that there should be a limit.
So do you
on
want more
individual
regulations and
wealth.
restrictions on corporations from being
Absolutely.
able to stifle their competition? Okay, so then you want
Absolutely.
Biden administration's
I'm
you want
more-
the Biden
I'm-
administration's antitrust policy. You want the Biden's administration's, appreciate the handarts, thank you so much, extra regulations on companies. That's what you want. You don't want the fucking random bullshit from Trump where he wants to deregulate these different types of companies,
okay,
give them
so
more
here's-
power when they've already been controlling things.
So here's
to
what
a
I like
significant
about Trump,
extent.
is because Trump is not bought by anybody. He's not controlled by any special interest money.
Yeah,
So-
but he's going to give people tax breaks who are in the fossil fuel industry, right? And he specifically says, oh, if you put me in presidency, you give me money, I'll give you tax breaks. How the fuck is that not literally being funded by people? How? Please explain that to me. With conditions. That's quite literally him setting up particular conditions in which if they support him, he's going to do this.
Look, you can't change things overnight. It's just not going to happen. You have to gradually do it. You're not going to do it with Biden. Biden's in the
And you're not going to
pockets.
do it with Trump. Trump is undermining our American democracy. You understand that, right?
Oh, that's what you think. I don't believe
That's not
that.
just what I think. That's what it is.
I believe that he's helped the American people more than he's hurt.
And
the
one
American-
policy you like of Donald Trump's that he influenced to get past the benefit of the middle class.
Well, when he put the tariffs on China.
Tariffs
Well,
on China
tariffs
negatively
on-
impacted the middle class because it actually increased the cost of consumer goods from
What happened?
China.
What happened under that was that it increased the cost of
completely
it
did not help
increased the cost of Chinese goods. Yes, but what it did is it made us buy more American goods, which
Yeah, but
created
the
more
average American
jobs
consumer had
because we
higher
to
cost
ramp
goods
up-
because of it.
because we had to ramp up production. So we
Yeah,
had
and the
more
average
jobs.
American consumer had higher cost goods because of it. Because
I would
tariffs
rather- I
specifically
would rather
increase the
pay
cost of
more-
these goods that they're buying.
I
That's
would
how you're
rather
saying
pay
they
more-
incentivize people to go towards American domestic production.
Correct.
Is because
I
they
would-
artificially are making the prices higher for other types of goods coming from China, which negatively impacts American consumers because now their goods are more expensive.
But aren't you all about, like protecting human beings? I mean, what about these people that are working in these sweatshops in China that are getting paid pennies to work all day?
Yeah, and I argue for
You know,
international labor conditions and international
Yeah, I mean,
labor
it's
regulations.
horrible.
But you understand that not giving places like this, right, any type of ability to trade only hurts them? Appreciate the subscription. Thank you so much. You understand that it also hurts those producers? Those producers in those places now, because they have less of demand from America, right? They're actually going to make less money and therefore going to have worse conditions in these areas. So, like, what are you arguing? Are you arguing
No,
for
because
worse or
what they're
better
doing is
conditions?
what's happening is they're mass producing these products to get them here to the United States.
Huh?
So we're not buying a better product. When you pay people more,
You are. If you
Yeah.
prefer this product over the other one, it was better to you. That's literally what prefer means.
Yeah, I would prefer an American, better made product than over a Chinese.
Okay, then
product.
then the market should allow you to buy it. You shouldn't
Yeah,
have
but
to. You
we-
shouldn't have to prop it up by making tariffs.
But
Let
you
them engage
should-
in free
okay.
trade and prefer to buy it themselves.
So when you have somebody that makes, say $7-8 an hour, and they want to buy a new TV, they would rather spend the $300 on the Chinese made TV rather than spend the $800 on the American made TV, which may be better. So
yeah,
they're
that's
forced-
their
they're
preference.
forced
Literally,
into
let
a-
them buy it.
They're forced into a product that they can't really, that they're not really getting the quality of.
What do you mean?
So, well, because we all know that Chinese products, you plug them in a week later and they don't work anymore anyway.
That's hilarious.
It's
That's not true. Where's your phone made?
I don't know. I've got a Samsung. It's probably made over in China.
Let's look up Samsung.
Okay, go ahead.
Where are Samsung phones made?
It's probably a China product.
That would be funny, wouldn't it?
Oh no, I own a lot of Chinese products.
They do actually produce it in South Korea.
Okay.
Or Vietnam.
So
I mean, I could mention a few things. We could find particular types of goods that you have that are from China that don't like break in a week. Like I think you're saying that ridiculous.
No, I don't believe it's ridiculous. I believe it's ridiculous that we don't have the amount of American-made options. If you
want a more American-made options, demand those goods and services. Wait, PC, you could do that through free trade. Demand more then. If you buy American-made products more rather than buying the products from other places around the world, your demand for that good or service will make it more prevalent. Companies in America would make more money because they produced it in America because it says made on America, because you are more likely to buy it because of that. But if you don't do that, well, then obviously it's going to lead to you trying to do it through the government, which isn't going to work, right?
Look, you got to know about.
And if you want to talk about things that did that, again, what people are saying in the comments, the CHIPS Act did just that. It boosted American production of chips. We're going to make up 20% of of global production of chips. Right in like, I'm pretty sure it's within like a decade.
We'll see about that, because we have to have the material to make the chips, which we just went through that.
Thomas, thank you for the $20 on Cash App. Thank you so much, Thomas, and DMC. Thank you so much for the confetti. Thank you so much, Thomas. I really appreciate it. We have to have a
fair trade agreement too, because we have a trade deficit again, and we were getting to where we weren't in a deficit under Trump, because between China, Europe, they put tariffs on our products, and you have to talk about shelf space because
we put tariffs on theirs.
Well,
if we didn't put as much tariffs on them, they wouldn't put as much tariffs on us.
Well, that's not true, because
that is true. Were they pushing for protectionism? No, they weren't. China has been pushing for free trade. China has not been pushing for protectionism. They're only doing it in response to us in our trade war.
When they're charging us 25%, we're only charging them 2% here in the United States. That's a trade
source. What's the source of that?
This was on one of the government websites, trade.gov or something like that. We were at an $8 billion deficit for total, and it was like 50.
Okay, the United States has imposed approximately $350 billion of tariffs on Chinese imports, while China has imposed approximately $100 billion on U.S. imports.
Right.
So significantly less.
Now, maybe
that's what it was, and that's in 2019. That was by late 2019. So what do you mean now?
So I don't know what they are right now. I just know what you're asking me about Trump policies and why I would vote for him. I'm telling you that he equalized the playing field with the tariffs on other countries, like France, China, like South Korea.
Wait, so you agree with the tariffs? Do you want there to be more tariffs?
No, I think that they should be fair and even.
So should we increase them?
Depending on what their tariffs are on our product. So when France buys wine from the United States, they put a 25% tariff on our product, but when we buy France's wine and champagne, we only pay a 5% tariff. So people would buy more, and you're going to have.
Where are you getting these numbers from? I pulled them right out my ass.
No, I didn't pull them out of my ass. I don't speak on them if I didn't look it up. Okay.
Come on.
I don't do that. I don't do that. But I can't sit here and do everybody's homework for them. I mean,
wait, come on, PC. Don't act like. I think that's heavily disingenuous for you to make the claim and to say it's my homework to search up your claim. You should provide a source for your own claims, right? If I provide a claim and I don't provide any source, I say, look it up, you're going to be like, that's ridiculous. But you doing the exact same thing isn't a problem?
Well, okay, so then you state the source where you just found that it was $350 million rather than 500 or 500 billion.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just the first thing that came up on Wikipedia. But
I know, and I'm not sitting in front of a computer.
I mean, I can do that. Would you like to see it?
Either, but I wouldn't say it if it wasn't true.
Yeah, you can look up, what's it called? Tracking the economic impact of U.S. tariffs and retaliatory actions.
So yeah, I mean, we do have to get back to a couple of things that Trump wasn't all. Trump, look, I don't care how you slice it. Trump wasn't all bad. I had more money in my pocket. I'm sure you had more money in your pocket.
No, I had more money under Biden's administration.
Did you? Well,
Yep.
What changed? Well, you're also how old? You got to be younger. What are you in your 20s?
22.
Okay. So yeah,
So I wasn't working. Now I am working. But based upon your reasoning, it's just as justified because it's just a correlation.
No, it's not.
Yo, Robert, thank you for the pinata. Thank you so much, Robert. I really appreciate that.
Because I've been in the workforce for over 45 years. No, not 45. 35 years, and you haven't. So I've seen the changes through.
You want us something crazy, PC?
Clinton.
You want us something crazy, PC? Thank you for the hat and heart. Thank you so much. We're still under Trump tax policy.
Well, we're still under Trump tax policy, although more taxes have been imposed on us.
Still Trump tax
Green
policy.
New Deal.
Nope, still Trump tax policy.
No, we have carbon.
We don't
tax.
have a Green New Deal.
We have carbon tax.
And are you getting a carbon tax fee?
We do every time we go fill up for gas.
So again, you're just relating to the context of like a gasoline tax?
Well, I'm sure it trickles down onto everything because not only does it, when you pay a carbon tax, it goes from diesel, which diesel.
PC, did you actually know a carbon tax is the best way to tax? And the reason why this is true is because it gets polluters to internalize the costs of the externalities imposed by their pollution. Externalities, right, in this sense, because we're talking about negative externality, is a negative impact on other people because of an action that I engaged in.
Okay, so it starts small, like you just said, but it increases over time, just like.
What the issue is that we didn't have the particular level of tax that is going to be the socially optimal level.
Federal income tax was only supposed to last for a couple of years after World War II until we got on our feet, and then it was supposed to end.
Wait, sorry, what do you say that one more time?
Federal income tax. So,
federal income tax is good though, because we're able to have more comedies, right, for the average person to create better, long-lasting societies. If you're going to talk about 1910 when we did have a federal income tax, do you understand what the makeup of American cities were at that time? Very small cities, right, mostly rural.
For a hammer, and you're paying $10,000 a month.
Can you repeat to me what I just said?
What'd you say?
Can you repeat to me what I just said?
What'd you say? Because you were talking over me, but go ahead.
You were talking over me. That's why I just asked you.
Okay, so what'd you say?
Okay, so you understand when we didn't have federal income tax, what the average society looked like? It literally was mostly rural. It was not mostly big cities. It was not as industrialized as we are, not as technologically advanced. There were completely different conditions as it relates to the economy. Now we live in an economy where having these different types of taxes can produce better conditions for the average person.
To a certain extent, yes. Well, now we have trains, we have rail, we have buses, we have planes that we can, take trips on, taxis, Uber, all these things that get funded by the federal government. But there's a lot of things that get funded by the federal government that we don't need and it is excess. Like when the government spends $500 on a toilet bowl, that's ridiculous. They could use this $100 toilet bowl just like I do. Because
I don't dispute you there.
There's a lot of things going on inside of the government that we don't see as normal everyday Americans, and these politicians can go out there and spout, oh, well, we need more taxes for this, and we got to study this shrimp on a treadmill, and we got to figure out, why the seas are rising, but I'm going to go buy a house out on the beach. I mean, it's crazy, man. They say that the seas are going to rise, right? But yet everybody
will be sea level rise. But we don't know how much that level of sea. There's a bunch of uncertainty with this.
Right.
But what we do know is that given the last time in which we had this level of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, we saw sea levels, I think, 25 to 35 meters higher than what we currently see them as. So there could be a very huge negative impact from that we could possibly see?
So at one point, all water was frozen, right? Or it's either liquid, gas, or frozen. So you have 3 different ways that you can look at water. So even though it's in a gas, solid, or a liquid form, it's still a natural, it's still natural, period. So even if the sea levels rise, it's not killing the earth. It might be killing human beings, but it's not killing the earth.
Okay, well, is there anything else you want to talk about, Arad?
No, I think you got about it all covered.
Okay,
I mean, I do have other points that I'm going to vote for Trump, but I don't think you want to go over them because me and you butt heads pretty good here. But that was pretty cool. And tell your buddy Chris, thanks for him being what's his name? Chris what? Chris
Mowry.
Yeah, Chris Mowry. He's a good kid too. You guys, man, I appreciate y'all's hustle, and when you get a little bit older, maybe you'll see things differently. You know, I see things differently now that I'm older. So, things change over time.
All right,
but you have
sure.
a great
Appreciate
night,
you coming
bro.
on, man.
It was good talking to you.
Thank you so much. All right, everyone, let's go to the next person. Only send a guest request if you will vote for Trump in 2024. Everyone, we are just looking for some debates, y'all. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Me? 42.
Yeah, are you going to vote for Trump in 2024?
Yes, I am. Absolutely.
Okay, why so?
I'll get to that in a minute. Are you paid to speak for the Biden administration? I'm really serious. I'm serious about that. Are you paid? Are you paid by that? You're not. So you're not sponsored or getting paid to promote carbon tax and all this other stuff now.
No.
You think that more money coming out of our pockets is gonna save the planet from carbon?
Yeah, I do think that carbon dioxide has a negative impact upon humans and environmental conditions. I do think that a carbon tax is one of the most effective ways to reduce carbon to a socially optimal or socially efficient level, because it actually leads towards an internalization of the costs, right, associated with the externalities with pollution.
What do trees live off of?
So trees do take in carbon, but we're talking about
and they produce
the level.
oxygen.
Yeah, what we're talking about is the level of carbon in the atmosphere, right? So the level of carbon in the atmosphere is putting this particular cycle off.
How so?
Well, because when we are cutting trees, right, which trees hold carbon, right, that means that there's going to be less carbon being sucked in, right, due to natural processes. And that means that there's going to be a greater net level of pollution.
With the amount of trees on the planet, and we're not even close to nowhere near danger zones or anything like that. Not even close. But
what do you mean?
We're not even close to being at any type of threat level from carbon.
Yeah, we are, and the reason why that's true is because we can see the effect of a greenhouse gas or carbon dioxide on the atmosphere, and we can see huge blatant associations, right? Like significant increases in the level of carbon dioxide. I'm talking from like the 200 or something parts per million.
The whole thing for a carbon tax and tax is to put more money in the politicians' pockets. Period.
Oh no, wait, carbon.
They don't
carbon
care
tax.
about the planet. They don't care about you.
Trenton, you're like objectively wrong. Carbon taxes don't provide much revenue. Hey, I understand. Carbon taxes don't provide much revenue. The reason why carbon taxes are effective is because they're meant to specifically reduce the level of production as it relates to these particular types of goods to a socially efficient level.
Somebody said we can't breathe, we eat money, I guess. No,
did you hear what I just said?
Yeah, I heard what you said.
What did I just say?
Let's get back to going with Trump. Right?
What I just said.
I don't want to vote for him. I didn't hear everything you said because I was reading the comments.
Wonder why.
Wonder why.
Yeah, you were reading the comments instead of having a conversation with me.
I know, but you cut me off. You cut me off as soon as I started talking about something. So
I did, yeah.
Yeah. You don't like.
You didn't listen. So.
All right. So why do you think Joe Biden is so much of a better choice than Trump?
He's not a proven sexual abuser. He's not a proven fraudster. He hasn't been denying the.
Hold on.
Yeah, yes, he's been held liable for sexual abuse and for defamation.
He's not held liable for sexual abuse.
You want to bet?
Yeah, I want to bet.
Okay, how much you want to bet?
So that case is a fraud. Okay, come on, let's look at the.
Wait.
Why was he criminally charged?
Trenton,
was he criminally charged? Why did they have to go to a liable court?
Because
Why did
this was a civil court, not a criminal court. And
why did they let them present any evidence?
They did. The reason
No,
why
they
it was
did
in a
not.
yes, they did. The reason why it was
What
in
evidence? They didn't let his lawyer talk at all. Not at all.
They
didn't
did.
let him
That's
present
wrong.
any evidence at all, and you're going to use that.
Right, so they did let him submit evidence. They did let him produce things. He could have submitted his DNA, which would have been able to exonerate him if it wasn't his DNA on the dress. Yet he decided not to show them his DNA until after they couldn't even turn it in.
Rape is sexy. That's what the lady said. The lady's a whack
She
job.
said
You
that
know
if you
it,
actually
and I know
listened,
it.
hey Trenton, if you actually listened to that, she said other people think that and they shouldn't view it that way.
That's not what she said.
Yeah, that is what she said. I've actually talked about this and we played. Listen. We've actually talked about this and we listened to this on the live. I've showed the context of this multiple times on this live. Don't sit there and lie about what she said because it's politically advantageous. Don't sit here and lie about what she said because it's politically advantageous to you. That is despicable and disgusting to do that to someone who is a victim of sexual abuse as defined by the law.
Despicable and disgusting. Taking someone to court, a civil court, and doing these little cases just so they don't have to him run for president.
Was OJ guilty?
All it's about.
Trenton, was OJ guilty?
So he doesn't run for president. Yeah,
Trenton, was OJ guilty?
Absolutely.
Okay, so OJ was not determined guilty in the context of a criminal court, but was held liable in a civil court. So if you think that him being held liable in a civil court was enough to indicate that he particularly did it, well then why is it not enough with Trump?
Where was she at all these years, bud? Where was she all these years?
Plenty of victims do not come out. The average great victim does not come out for like a decade, okay?
Have you
so
seen
for your
videos of her?
claim here particularly that where was she coming out with this? Well, it's actually expected that victims don't come out in most circumstances
If you
for
think
multiple
that lady's
decades.
credible,
That's
I feel for you,
expected.
bud.
For you to
You
sit
think
here and
that lady's
dispute the
credible, I
story,
feel for
stop
you.
talking. For you to sit here and to dispute the story because they didn't come out is ridiculous. I know multiple people that have not come out with their stories for decades. Right? It still happened to them. I bet you know people that have not come out for decades after their stories, after them being abused. That doesn't mean it didn't happen to them. So for you to use that as something that means that she didn't get abused is ultimately fucking ridiculous because you would not use that same reasoning in any other scenario, which tells me you're making a special exception for fucking Daddy Trump. That's what the special exception is. That's a special pleading, buddy.
Oh, you turn my mic over? Turn my mic off?
I did mute you.
Yeah. So you don't okay? Who's the girl that said Trump Biden sexually assaulted him? Huh? Who's that girl?
You're talking about Tara Reid, who perjured herself,
Tara Reid. Well,
moved
her
to
words
Russia.
no good, right? Her words no. Oh, she works for
Christian
Russia.
Andor, thank you so much. Yeah,
right?
she moved to
automatically works
Russia
for
and she
Russia.
perjured
talks
herself
about Daddy
in
Biden,
court.
huh?
Right.
She talks about Daddy Biden, so she works for Russia.
If you want to talk about the level of accusals, the level of allegations, Trump has 26 women that have claimed sexual misconduct. 26 women.
His daughter's diary. What's about Joe Biden?
She came out and said there was no abuse involved. What are you talking about? You completely ignore that. What about the 10-year-old? What about Trump saying to a 10-year-old that he'll date her in 10 years? What about, he just got removed from community guidelines. What about that? Like, you're going to sit there, ignore all the things Trump does, but you're going to sit there and try to acknowledge these things with Biden. I'll sit there and I'll acknowledge everything with Biden, but you cannot sit there and deny everything with Trump. What's up? How old are you?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm 47.
For sure. Are you going to vote for Trump in 2024?
No, I wanted to talk to that guy before you just had on that.
Do appreciate you though, man. We are going to go on to the next person. Only send a guest request if you will vote for Trump in 2024, everyone. What's up? How old are you?
What's up?
How old are you?
Yes, I will vote for Trump.
And why so?
29. 29.
Why so?
I think he's the best candidate for African Americans and as well as gun rights.
Can you name one thing that he did, right, that specifically benefited the average person in the middle class?
I don't know. What do you mean by benefits to the average person?
Anything under your view. Cody, thank you for the $10 on Cash App. Thank you so much.
I don't know. The peace agreements in the Middle East, which led to less war, which led to less American tax dollars to be used overseas.
You mean the Abraham Accords?
Yes.
Okay, so one, you'd have to justify that the Abraham Accords would not have happened otherwise.
There were no wars when the Abraham Accords were there. No wars.
That's wrong. There was a proxy war in the Middle East between between the U.S. and between Russia in Syria. There was 450% increase in military drone strikes by the U.S. right in the Middle East. Right, there was assassination of a top military general in Iran, specifically commanded by Trump himself. Right, there was literally a U.S.-backed Saudi blockade of Yemen, which literally starved 85,000 Yemeni children.
Soleimani was a killer. You're arguing that Soleimani shouldn't have died?
I'm not disputing that he's a killer. I think he's a bad person. But what you're not acknowledging is that killing top military generals in other countries, right, is literally an act of war. I think Putin's a bad person. But if we were to kill him, you understand that that would put into risk tens of thousands of American lives.
Look at the wars we're in.
Does that make sense?
We would not be fighting these wars if Trump was still president. Look at Black
can you give me
Lives
any
Matter.
evidence?
There weren't any wars. Russia was not attacking.
Wait, there were wars. I just mentioned there was a proxy war between the U.S. and Russia in Syria. There was a 450% increase in military drone strikes in the Middle East, an assassination of a top military general in Iran. There was literally a U.S.-backed Saudi blockade in Yemen that starved 85,000 Yemeni children. Don't tell me there wasn't war. Don't tell me there wasn't conflict specifically supported by Trump when those were all things that happened under his administration.
I can't give you evidence of a negative. That's impossible. I can't give you evidence that there wouldn't be wars because there just wasn't.
Wait, no. You have to give me evidence of there being no wars. Why? Because I just gave you evidence of there being wars.
Okay. I can't give you evidence. There were no wars. That's the evidence. The evidence is Russia was not.
No, there wasn't. There were definitely wars. I just mentioned those.
Okay, not in the Middle East. Where there was
a 450% increase of military drone strikes in the Middle East. You're wrong.
We were not directly involved in a war. Trump's policy.
Really? Why was Trump trying to pull out of Afghanistan then? Were we not involved in something there?
Yeah, he was getting us out.
Oh, so we were involved in war. You can't say that we're simultaneously involved in war and not involved in war.
You just asked me why was Trump pulling us out of a war?
Yes, because we were involved in one. That's the point I was making. You saying there were no wars is completely false. If you're saying that there were no new wars caused by Trump, well, there were no new wars caused by Biden.
We were there for 20 years. We were there for most of our adult lives, probably most of your.
Wait, double R. I'm actually calling that the U.S. should be out of these conditions. What I was just doing was I was demonstrating
Biden has us in.
Wait, dude. What I was telling you is that the U.S. was involved in these places.
These are Democrat wars.
No, they're not. They were started by a Republican.
What war? Okay.
Wait, when we went to Afghanistan, who was president?
Okay, Bush.
Oh, okay. Who was that? Republican or Democrat?
That was a Republican. What
I thought.
I'm not arguing for Bush. I'm not a fan of Bush.
Fucking Democrats war. Republicans are the ones that warhawked this. What are you talking about?
Okay.
And we'll sit here and blame Biden for pulling out of Afghanistan.
We were not at war. Biden botched the fucking pullout. All these people died because of Biden. That was a bot.
That's not determined by Biden. That's determined by military generals.
Biden's generals.
And Trump set up the agreements. They had to pull out because Trump set it up.
They were not Trump's generals. They were Biden's generals.
They were appointed by Biden?
They were his generals. He was the leader of this army.
Wait, but were they appointed by Biden?
Okay. So you're going to say...
Answer the question. Were they appointed by Biden?
Were the generals appointed by Trump?
Were they appointed by Biden?
They were his generals, dude. Yes. If he didn't...
Wait. So were they appointed by Biden?
Were you ever in the military?
Were they appointed by Biden?
His title is commander.
No, double R. They were not appointed by Biden. So this idea here specifically that it was caused by them, I'm going to question because I think that these things are not specifically related to the president always.
The president is the top general. He's the commander in chief.
I understand you say that, but you're not responding to what I'm saying.
That is his military title, dude. He's
cool.
Okay. So they were his generals.
That doesn't mean that he appointed them. What are you not getting
Regardless of whether he appointed them or not,
that's very relevant.
It was his decision to pull out of Afghanistan, and that is the reason.
It was not his decision. They had to leave because Trump already signed an agreement.
He had to. Okay.
I think they should have left. Like, I actually agree with Trump there. Like, I'm not disputing that. But you can't sit here and blame Biden only when these conditions were specifically set up by Trump. Now, thank you for the boxing though. Thank you so much.
Why am I voting for Trump? Because I was a Democrat. I'm an African American, and we voted for Democrats years and years and years. I was taught this by my family, my grandparents, all this. And what has the black community ever gotten from Democrats other than absolutely?
Name one thing Trump has done for the black community.
Okay, let's talk about the money for the HBCUs. For instance,
there was more money given under Biden's administration for HBCUs, $6 billion.
You didn't even let me talk. Did you know HBCUs had to beg the presidency for monies, whereas other colleges?
Wait, they had to beg Trump because Trump wouldn't give it to them, right? Even though he was currently president at the time, because he wanted to dangle it over their heads. He said, "I'll give you the platinum plan if you reelect me," but he was already in office, so he could have passed the platinum plan when he was already in office. But he decided to dangle it over people's heads because he wanted people who are black to vote for him.
HBCUs had to beg for money until Trump decided to allow HBCUs to get money whenever they want, just like regular colleges do. You don't know what you're talking about.
How much did Trump give for the HBCUs?
Dude, I'm not going to look that up right now. I'm sitting in front of my computer right now. I'm editing a YouTube video. I'm not looking that up.
Yeah, so you want me to pull it up?
You can, yeah.
Okay,
it's just federal money that always goes to these colleges that HBCUs were not included in until
$255 million in annual funding. Are you serious? $255 million by 4 years. What is that?
Regardless,
that's less than $1 billion.
They wouldn't have got it.
If Biden gave $6-7 billion, are you fucking kidding me?
They wouldn't have got it.
You're sitting there and you're telling me that Donald Trump is a better candidate when he gave significantly less funding, significantly less.
Okay, I'm not talking about the amount. I'm talking about the automated features that were not there until Trump put it there. They wouldn't have got it. They wouldn't have got it.
There were more features under the Biden administration.
No. Okay, because Biden came after Trump put that there, dude.
Wait, so you can't say it's good for Trump to do this, but then not acknowledge when Biden does more?
I'm not acknowledging that Biden
Name
did
one thing that Trump did, right, that is better than what Biden did.
Okay.
One thing.
The attempt to stop illegal immigration.
You don't understand that 3.5 times as many people were removed from the country under Biden's administration than Trump's.
Because
you understand that, right?
Because there's more people coming, dude.
Yeah, obviously, right? But you can't sit there and say that we aren't stopping people from coming to the country when that is true. If you're saying that Trump is going to do it more, well, then I'm going to sit here and I'm going to ask you the question: why is that desirable to you?
Giving illegal immigrants incentives to come over to this country.
That is not true.
Not the president, if he was not, yes, he is.
Double R, you're completely lying.
If he was not the president,
what incentive?
If his administration.
Wait, Double R, what incentive?
They get more. Okay, it's not considered food stamps, but they get more money for food than people who are on welfare do. Illegal immigrants.
Those are migrants.
Illegal.
No, they're legal migrants. We're talking literally people. We're talking people who are here through the legal asylum process. Trump denies the legal asylum process and tried to increase the denial rates of people coming to the country legally through the asylum process, which is protected under international law and protected in the United States for the past few decades. Every other president had this particular asylum law. Trump decides to change it. Why? Appreciate the money, gun. Thank you so much. Because he wants to create some issue out of immigration that did not exist. All these other presidents did not have issues as it relates to immigration. Didn't have a wall. Didn't have the stay in Mexico border policy. So why would these policies be effective for getting rid of this quote unquote problem as it relates to immigration when none of these other presidents had these policies and this problem didn't exist?
Listen, Biden's not tough on immigration. They're welcoming these people here. I can't tell you enough about that. But gun rights.
What do you mean by welcoming these people? What people?
Illegal immigrants.
Wait. How so? Name the policy that specifically tells illegal immigrants that they are okay to stay in the country no matter what.
Well, when the Justice Department tells Texas that they have to remove their National Guard, they're welcome.
Because it's the federal government that deals with border policy and with an enforcement of immigration, not the states.
It's Texas, dude.
No, it's the state. It's not. It's literally the federal government that determines this. You understand? If Trump was president, California could do this exact same thing. And actually, if Trump does become president, Newsom likely will do something like this as it relates to immigration when he's president. Right, to test the same particular standards that Republicans did when Biden was president.
Listen, I'm voting for them for gun rights. Mainly, I'm a gun rights advocate. You're trying to get me out of my wheelhouse with this. I understand what you're doing, Parker.
Wait. Trump literally passed some of the biggest gun control legislation with the bump stock ban, and he literally called for a ban on assault rifles that specifically he didn't even follow through with. Why? Because the NRA said not to.
Okay, so you're saying that
so he's influenced by gun lobbyists, like
saying that Trump didn't follow through with the gun rights ban. Do you believe that Americans should have guns?
I think you should be able to have access to certain types of guns. Obviously, not all guns. Like I don't think an American should be able to legally buy a minigun.
Okay. Well, I got 3 AR-15s. Do you think that's wrong for me to have 3 AR-15s?
For me, as it relates to these particular types of policies, if we're talking about like an AR here, right? My view is going to be if there are studies indicating that it reduces the harm on people, absolutely get rid of the fucking gun. If it doesn't reduce the harm, well, then there's no reason to get rid of it. Right, but if it does reduce the harm, fuck yeah, I don't give a flying fuck. I care that children aren't being shot. I care that people, right, women, men, children aren't being shot. That's what I care about. I care that my girlfriend in the future, when she becomes a teacher, is going to be safer at school. I care that my future children, right, are going to be safer at school, in public, everywhere else. I don't give a flying fuck about your guns if it puts my kids at a higher risk.
Do you live in a state where they allow teachers to carry guns?
I live in California, so I don't know what the laws are on that.
No, they don't. In my state, I live in Ohio. Teachers are allowed to carry guns in school. You should, if you want your girlfriend to be safe, tell her to move out of that Democrat state and move to Ohio, where she can.
Wait, actually, having guns increase the likelihood that an individual would act aggressively, which actually puts people at a greater level of risk.
There's schools in Texas that allow teachers to carry guns that have never had a mass shooting.
But did you know that having a gun, just in general, whether it's in the school system or not, actually makes it more likely that you're going to act aggressively?
No,
it's a psychological impact of having a firearm.
I think it's a psychological impact of people not being responsible.
Wait, you could say it's people not being responsible, but that's significantly more likely to occur given that an individual has a gun. Why do countries around the world in Europe with more harsh gun restrictions have significantly lower risks of harm associated with guns? Why is that true?
And I know cities in Ohio that have significantly more gun deaths where there's people who have more gun restrictions. Cities like Dayton, Columbus, where there's Democrats.
Right, but those same trends don't exist in European countries around the world. So those could be related to other trends in the United States that don't exist in those other countries around the world. Again, other countries have greater gun restrictions and they're significantly safer.
Why is it that these trends don't exist in Republican-run cities?
Wait, what Republican-run city?
I live in a city called, I'm not going to name my city, but...
you don't have to, just any Republican-run city.
Okay, I don't know. Any Republican city. It just doesn't.
Yeah, you don't know a single Republican city.
I know where I live is a Republican city.
Yeah, but you don't know where this trend would be present. You just made that claim for no reason.
Because it just doesn't happen. If you look at most of the gun deaths, crime, violence, it's cities that are run by Democrats.
Yeah, name a single city that's big that's Republican. You can't, right? Most big cities are Democrat. Because... right? Many things, like people in more dense areas are more likely to have empathy for the people around them, compassion. They're more likely to want to provide social services for them. Does that mean in the US we have social services that are beneficial to the public? Hell no. There are plenty of things that the government spends money on that isn't efficient for the average population. But that just tells us that we're running government wrong. That doesn't mean that government is wrong here. That means we're running government wrong. Other countries around the world have these types of social services and they have better overall systems. If you look at Scandinavian countries, they're more economically free. They're more socially free. If you look at the Human Freedom Index and you look at the Economic Freedom Index, but they also have broader social safety nets, right? They have actual conditions that are better for the average person. That's what I want to emulate. We can look at other countries, look at the things that have benefited their populace, and we can adopt those same things here to make our country better. By no means are we perfect. By no means are we the best in every category. We have so many things that we could become better on, and we could truly be the best country in the world by far. We have the potential for that. That's the thing about America, is that it's an American dream. It's a potential for greatness, right? But we currently have not come to that. We have not achieved that for everyone in the U.S., right? You could say we achieved that for particular communities in the U.S.
I'm going to say, yeah, the Democrats try to achieve that for particular communities, being that LGBTQ people.
Wait, we're talking for everyone.
Black
people. We can truly make America a great place.
I think Republicans tend to want to make everything about the country great. They talk about make America great.
That's not true.
They don't
great again. When was it great for everyone?
Well, I would say it was a little bit better before Biden was president.
Wait, before Trump said this before he was in presidency. When was it great before his presidency?
I would say, okay, so there have been things about the country that have been great. When you get back to the 60s and you had millionaires and billionaires donating.
Wait, no, I'm saying great for everybody. I'm saying great for everybody. You said it was great for certain people. I'm not disputing that. This country has been very great for certain people. But that's exactly it. The people in power, the people in positions in which have systemic power, those people have been benefited.
I think it's the people in power who try to separate us into these different identity groups instead of us all being proud to be Americans.
And we can be proud for Americans, every single person in this country, once we create conditions to be proud of.
How do we create those conditions?
Well, we engage in policies that are going to be beneficial to every single person in this country. Investment
How is voting
programs.
for Biden going to create those conditions?
I don't think voting for Biden is going to create those conditions, but I do think it's going to be better than voting for Trump.
Why would it be better than voting for Trump?
Well, he
What
is
is
quite literally undermining our American democracy. In order for us to get these types of policies in the first place, we require fair and democratic elections to hold these positions accountable.
Okay,
We
let's
require
talk
federal judges that aren't limiting these types of policies, whether it be the context of Roe versus Wade, whether it be other types of policies that federal courts or federal judges are going to be able to hold back as it relates to progressive legislation in the future, because Donald Trump put hundreds of different federal judges in office, right? What about all those things? All of those things are relevant.
Let's talk about democracy for a second. Do you believe that Biden cognitively is the one that's running this country?
As president, as any other, yes.
You don't believe that he's seriously demented, that his brain is a can of vegetable soup?
No.
Okay.
You're quite literally delusional if you believe that. Okay? There's no evidence indicating that he has dementia. What are the conditions and the qualifications necessary to identify that an individual has dementia?
Okay, wait till he debates live. If he ever does another,
what are the qualifications? He did already debate live Trump, right? And he sounded completely fine. Can you give me particularly? Yes, you did. Can you give me particularly the conditions? Can you give me the conditions relevant in determining that an individual has dementia?
Okay, they can't remember stuff. They get on stage and they greet a dead woman.
Yeah, like Trump mistaking his ex-wife for E. Jean Carroll, the person who's proven to have sexually abused, like mistaking that.
We're not talking about E. Jean Carroll.
But that's mistaking and not remembering things like Trump didn't remember.
Of course, he meets thousands of people. Why would he remember this one floozy who was on his
Well,
dick?
he said it was his ex-wife. Appreciate the handout. Thank you so much. So he mistakes who his ex-wife is? Really?
No. Regardless of that, Biden has dementia. He's not running this country.
And what are the qualifications necessary to indicate that an individual has dementia? You still have yet to determine that.
I was a nursing assistant. I took care of plenty of people who had dementia. They could not remember things.
I don't give a shit. What are the qualifications? What are the qualifications?
Memory gaps, memory lapse, memory loss.
Yeah, that happened in Trump.
It happens 100% more often than Biden, and you can't lie about that. The dude has dementia.
Wait. Give me something that happened with Joe Biden that is worse. Give me one thing that happened with Joe Biden that is worse than Donald Trump mistaking his ex-wife.
Just bringing up, talking to dead people in the audience. That
He
people
did do that.
Yes, he did.
Give me a source.
You want me to look up the speech where Biden talks?
He talked to dead people. What are you talking about?
Where he was there was a woman who had just recently died, and Biden hold on, damn it, fuck, I lost my shit. I shouldn't have did that. But yeah, Biden was definitely greeting dead women in the crowd, dude.
Like he knew we're dead.
Yes, a woman he knew was dead.
Okay, give me a source.
Okay, give me a second. I'm looking it up. But you still haven't given me a good, credible reading to vote for Biden. It makes no sense.
Trump being a proven sexual abuser, proven fraudster, election denier, those aren't good reasons. Him claiming for religious persecution, which a complete and total shutdown of Muslims entering the country isn't good enough reason. Him claiming to get rid of the ACA and replace it without providing any provision to replace it, just taking tens of millions of people off of healthcare. That's something that you want. Him passing tax policy that took money from the poor people in the country, from the lowest quintile, and from the middle class, and gave it to the top 1%, top 0.1%, and the highest quintile. That's policy that you want?
Yes. So here it
is.
Yes. I'm okay. I was looking up this thing you told me to look up. Biden asks whether deceased Congresswoman was at White House press event. President Joe Biden on Wednesday mistakenly asked whether late Republican Jackie Worlowski, who died in an accident last month, was at the White House event.
Did he know that she was dead?
Yes, prior to him going on stage, they told him to speak about her.
What's the title?
Her death.
What's the title?
NBC News. Biden asks whether dead Congresswoman is at White House event.
Dead. Whether dead Congress. It's at White House. NBC News?
Yeah.
Okay, let's look at this.
It says, hours after her death, Biden issued a statement saying he appreciated her partnership. So he knew she was dead. He forgot because he has dementia. He probably don't even remember giving that speech. And then he asked whether she was there. She was on his mind.
Yeah, so pictures at the top of his mind plans so he was thinking about her as he was naming out and calling out congressional champions on the issue, really critical issue. Okay, so he mistakenly said her name?
No, he asked, was she in the audience, because he knew that her party was there. The people who she ran with, they were in the audience, that the Congress people were there. So he thought she was going to be there because he forgot that he just spoke about her being dead a month ago.
Okay. So, what was he speaking for, though? Speaking at the Food, Nutrition, and Health, he asked whether or not this person was in the audience. So it wasn't him speaking about her death.
He spoke about her death a month before when she died. He spoke about her death a month before. He knew she was dead.
Okay. Well, yeah, that would definitely be a gaffe and a fuck up, right? That would be a mistake, and whatnot. I would like to see more context of what he was saying there. Like, what was the Biden administration's response to this?
I don't know. I know they didn't try to circle back to it because Psaki wasn't in there. I'm pretty sure they just didn't talk about it and tried to. Well, they just act like it doesn't happen, dude.
So you didn't look for it at all. You're just assuming?
No, I've seen it when it happened. I watched the entire speech that he gave.
Okay, but like, I'm asking if you knew what his response was to this.
Oh, he didn't respond. What's the token black girl? Oh, Jean St. Pierre, the press secretary. She said that she was on the top of his mind, and that's why Biden did that. That was their response. Oh, he was just thinking about her. She was on the top of his mind.
All right, so let's listen to what she says.
All of you here, including bipartisan elected officials like Representative Governor, Senator Braun, Senator Booker, Representative Jackie, are you here? Where's Jackie? I didn't think she was going to be here to help make this a reality.
Can you explain where the mistake was made? Was the president confused? Was something written in the teleprompter that he didn't recognize? Can you just help us understand what happened?
I mean, you're jumping to a lot of conclusions. No, but you're. I hear you, Stephen. I'm answering the question. That you're jumping to a lot of conclusions. I just answered the question. If that had been the case, I would have stated that, right? I would clearly have stated what you just laid out. What I had said is that she was on top of mind, and that he is going to see her family in just 2 days' time on Friday to honor her work, to honor her legacy, if you will. I just mentioned this. It's going to be a renaming of a VA clinic in Indiana in her name, and that is what he was thinking of. He was thinking about her. As he was naming out and calling out the congressional champions on this issue, on this really critical issue that's going to help millions of Americans, and that is what the president was focused on.
Okay, I don't think that's good enough reason. Yeah, I think that's definitely a huge gaffe. That's definitely not good enough reason for him doing that. Like, I would expect like a he hasn't heard this before or something like that. He didn't know about these conditions. So yeah, that's definitely like a mess up and whatnot. Do I think that's worse than like Trump with his ex-wife? Absolutely not. But is that a gaffe? Absolutely.
Okay, what about when Biden mistakenly called the people of Ukraine the people of Iran during a...
You can talk about how Trump mistakes different types of names of countries all the time. None of these prove dementia, though. I'm asking for something that is worse than Trump mistaking someone that he literally had an significant intimate relationship with, enough to get married to. Okay, Biden didn't do that with that person. This isn't like Biden forgetting a family member or something like that. Like certain people claim that like he forgot the death of his son, right? That wasn't true.
Well,
but if that was true, well, then that would be showing of something worse, right?
Regardless, when
You just you cut out.
Well, when Trump was president, he took tests to prove his mental fitness. He's offered to do this time and time again. Biden won't do it. He'll never do it because
Biden has done tests for mental fitness.
No, he's not mentally fit to be president. I don't care.
You're just making that claim. He's done those tests though.
Yeah, he's not.
You're lying.
When?
Yeah, so I can pull it up right now. Biden mental acuity tests, or what was it, mental?
When I search it up, the first thing that says is Karine St. Pierre explains why Biden doesn't need a mental cognitive test.
Well, I'm not saying that that's a particular type of cognitive test, but that's a different type of cognitive test. But Biden has been cleared with other types of things.
He's the first person to use a cognitive test.
Yeah, for example, right here, hold up. I'll pull up a cognitive test for you.
He took a physical, but he will not take the cognitive.
No, I understand that he took a physical, but there was different mental tests that he's taken.
He's the only president to not take a cognitive test. They say he doesn't.
You're talking about a particular type of cognitive test as it relates to a physical.
I'm talking about him being the only president to not take a cognitive test, dude. I'm sitting here, I'm looking up the shit. It's right here in front of my computer. I'm not lying. He's the only one. I didn't even know this until I just looked it up.
No, I understand. Like, there's a cognitive test associated with Eric. I appreciate the $1. Thank you so much. Associated with the physicals, right? But there are other types of mental tests he's taken as it relates to his health screening.
Regardless, he's the only one not taking a mental test because he has dementia, dude.
Oh my. Okay, so
the dude's brain is like chicken noodle soup. He can't speak. He can't hold.
No, he's not. Have you watched the State of the Union?
Oh, I watch him all the time. The State of the
So
Union,
then you would hear he's completely fine.
He's definitely not.
Can you give me a reason why he isn't?
Because he doesn't know when a person died a month ago.
Okay, so
statement about their death.
So there is a neurological exam. Okay, so I'll send you this. Biden's doctor says he is fit for duty after physical and neurological exam. That's from New York Times. That's a neurological exam.
I guarantee. Okay, it's not a cognitive test. It's not a test.
Is that not a mental exam?
Neurological exam is to say that his brain is in his head and is working. What does the brain do? It tells your heart to beat. It tells you to breathe. It tells your blood to flow. His brain is there. It's working. Cognitively, he's not there. He will not take a cognitive test. Are the neurons firing? Yeah, some of them. But will he take
So as it relates to cognitive, I'm down for him to take a cognitive. I actually think that certain tests like that should be mandated.
They
for
are.
presidents.
He's the only president that doesn't take it.
That's not mandated. No. So, but he did go through an extremely detailed neurological exam.
I don't think they should have to be mandated. I think each president has always willingly taken it, and he's the first one to not do it. If you don't think that's weird that this dude is not taking it, then yeah, you got a problem, buddy. I don't know why anybody.
So Dr. O'Connor said that a team of doctors, including a neurologist, 2 orthopedists, and a physical therapist, examined President, whom Dr. O'Connor described as an active 81-year-old white male earlier in the day. Karine Jean-Pierre, the White House press secretary, declined to give specifics about the tests Mr. Biden had undergone, but said that he doesn't need a cognitive exam.
Well, I'm looking at this article.
That's basically what they've said.
I'm looking at this article that was updated on February 28th, 2024. It says Biden just got his most recent physical, and a cognitive test was not part of the assessment.
Yeah, but there's still a neurological one. So that's the type of mental test.
We just discussed the difference between neurological and cognitive.
Yeah, and again, I'm for presidents being mandated to do cognitives, but this doesn't mean that he's like has dementia.
They shouldn't have to be mandated. Every president has taken it willingly.
Well, they can be mandated. I don't have an issue with that.
I don't have an issue with it being mandated. I just think it's weird that he's refusing it.
Sure. Right, but has there been any evidence indicating that he has dementia? No.
Not any evidence that you're willing to recognize, no.
Okay, there has been no evidence. What evidence that I'm not willing to recognize?
Like I said earlier, you can't prove a negative. The reason there's no evidence is because he refuses to take the dang test.
If there's no evidence, then why do you believe it?
Because I'm not an idiot. I can see the dude. I can hear him speak. I watch his speeches. He can't walk down a flight of steps, for instance.
Wait, so you don't have any evidence, but you believe it, and you're saying that it would make you an idiot to believe in something, to not believe in something with no evidence?
No, but I would rather listen to you go on with the next guest. You asked me why I'm voting for Donald Trump, gun rights, black community, freedom for all.
Yeah, but gun rights, it wasn't true. You never gave me a single thing that benefited the black community that was better under Donald Trump.
I would say immigration was a lot better. If you look at what's going on in Chicago right now, where they're displacing a lot of people who took some of these places for shelter, the black community is crying out, why are you pitting all these illegal immigrants into Chicago, giving them safe haven while we still have homeless black people out here on the streets? That's what the black people...
Well, I agree. We should get rid of homelessness, right? There should be no involuntary homelessness, but we shouldn't do it in the way that Trump's arguing. He's arguing to ban urban camping.
Okay, but when you look at...
put them in internment camps or prison.
When you look at who's at the bottom of the barrel in this country, a lot of the time it is these African Americans in these poor cities.
So again, if you should put those people in internment camps or prison, is that what you're saying?
No, but what I'm saying...
Well, that's what Trump's advocating for.
What I'm saying is...
But that's what Trump's advocating for, so you can't walk around that.
You directly asked me about African Americans and what's worse now. That was the question. I'm trying to answer that for you, but now you're talking about something completely different, internment camps.
This isn't completely different.
I don't think they should be in internment camps. I don't think they should be coming to America.
That's what Trump's advocating for.
They should be invited to America.
This is what Trump's advocating for, though.
They should be. They're criminals. It's illegal. They should be deported.
It's illegal to be homeless?
No, it's illegal.
No, Trump wants to ban urban camping. That's what I'm saying.
I mean,
so either put them in prison or internment camps. That's what you're arguing.
I don't understand what you're trying to get at. It is illegal to squat. It is illegal to be in a place that's not yours, that you don't own.
Wait, so is it illegal to be in a public area?
Yes, most of the time, yes.
No.
Yes.
No. Public areas are public areas.
No.
What are you talking about?
The village that I work for the city government here. Our parks close at a specific time, and if
we should put these people in prison.
No.
Okay, well, you think they're trespassing.
Laws should be enforced.
Okay, so they should be put in prison because they're trespassing under your view.
They should follow a law, and if they don't follow a law, then
what law is that?
Trespassing.
Oh, so they shouldn't go into public areas.
No, they can go in public areas when the public areas are public. When there's daytime, I mean.
Okay, so where should they go?
Where you're asking?
You're just saying there's nowhere they could go.
You're asking me where should a homeless person go?
Yeah, where should they go?
You should let them sleep in your house.
I'm not arguing for people to be in personal space of anyone.
So where should they go?
I'm arguing we should build houses.
They can
live in houses.
We should build
Everyone should be able to have access to a house. Every single person.
I agree with that. I mean, I'm in a home buying process myself, but where do you pit these people? Why don't you give them your house? Give them access to your house, dude.
That's not how it works. That's not what I'm advocating. I'm not advocating for you to give up your house to someone. No. What I'm advocating is that we should build other houses for other people.
Why don't you let them stay with you?
Because I don't want people in my personal space.
You don't want people to be somewhere that you didn't invite them to come to?
I don't want them to be in my personal space, right? Because I believe that everyone has the freedom to have personal space, right? I think that's a justified assertion. So everyone should have the ability to have personal space.
Does the country have rights to borders?
I'm not disputing countries' rights to borders. What I'm saying is that the current laws we have associated with immigration right now are ridiculous. On average, it takes 5 to 7 years for people to get here, which is ridiculous. Way too much. Shouldn't happen in this country, right? Everyone who's in this country currently who is not committing a violent crime, who is here illegally, should be able to go through a process to get legal papers, right? To get social security number and the whole 9 yards for citizenship, okay? And we should change the current immigration laws to make it so it's maximum 6 months for people to get into this country legally. Then we can enforce, right, our immigration law a little bit stricter. I don't have an issue with that once we get to that point. Right now, we do not have justifiable laws to enforce it strictly. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. No, and I agree with that. I think immigration should be enforced. So if you think immigration should be enforced and Republicans are the party
just once we have legitimate laws like that are like actually justified.
But so you're you're against illegal immigration.
once we have justifiable laws.
So why aren't you a Republican then? If you're against illegal immigration?
Wait, that doesn't make you a Republican, right?
Well,
Saying that like Democrats aren't when no immigration law, right? Like, come on.
No, well, Democrats want to welcome the immigrants here. Correct?
Yeah, that doesn't mean that there's no immigration law. I think immigration is a great thing.
Okay. I think legal immigration is a great thing, but the illegal immigration...
Yeah, our current legal process sucks, so...
Which is the main problem here. I think that's the biggest problem here.
You still have given no reason to vote for Trump.
I thought I gave a ton of reasons to vote for Trump. I mean...
And I responded to all of them. I showed you how they don't make sense.
Trump was better on foreign policy. The Abraham Accords were helpful. He's better with gun rights. I think every
Give me a reason that wouldn't have happened with Biden. And then also, as it relates to gun rights, again, what particularly on gun rights is he better with? Like, what would Biden do that you're against?
Biden wants to take away the AR-15.
So did Trump.
No, he does not.
Trump claimed that he did, but the only reason he didn't is because the NRA told him not to.
Okay,
so he listened to gun lobbyists.
So you're saying that Trump had an idea in his mind, he listened to the people around him, and he made a better decision based on what other people...
That's not a better decision, but necessarily, but...
Exactly. I think Trump was very reasonable with...
No, but like, again, the point is that also Biden's in office right now, and he's not taking away your AR-15.
He wants to. He's tried to. He's trying...
What policy has he tried to pass to do that?
Here, let me show you.
In the meantime, everyone tap that screen. Let's get to 500,000 likes. Everyone share the live as well. You already know the deal, everyone.
Biden calls Korea the United States. Okay, Biden says he will renew the push for assault weapons ban. So it says that here that Biden wants to ban assault weapons.
Okay,
now,
so
he hasn't gotten it through Congress, but that's what he himself in his demented brain wants to do.
I mean, wait, what particular assault ban? Is it the one that they had that already reduced gun deaths?
No, assault weapons bans don't reduce gun deaths.
Can you give me a source?
They've never been effective. First off, what is an assault weapon?
I don't think that's relevant. I'm just asking whether or not they particularly cause deaths given the definitions they've already considered.
No. They can't reduce gun deaths because there's no such thing as an assault weapon.
That's not true.
Yeah, no.
Under the way that they define it, there absolutely are assault weapons.
No, there's not. I own lots of weapons. None of them are used to assault people. I don't have an assault weapon.
Come on, that doesn't mean wait, what? That's not necessarily what an assault weapon would be.
What does the word assault mean?
Assault? No, again, they can be used in different contexts. Like for example, like the term homophobic, right, doesn't mean that you're scared of, right, people who are lesbian, right? It means you have prejudice. So again, it's used in a different context, even though you might associate the particular term to be a particular way because it's used in a different way in certain contexts.
Okay. Regardless, Biden wants to ban the AR-15. That's what we were talking about. That was the question.
So so he hasn't put this policy through, and also it's not likely, and then also it's really not that big of a deal.
It won't get through Congress, but Biden...
It's not even that big of a deal.
Why
to be honest with
Trump
you.
over Biden is because Trump wants to take away assault weapons, and Biden wants to take away assault weapons, and Trump doesn't.
Yeah. So again, you're claiming Biden wants to take away assault weapons.
I'm
Biden
not
doesn't.
saying
Neither
that.
of them are actually going to be able to get anything through. So why is this relevant to whether or not you're voting for one comparative to the other? If it's not going to even relate to any policy that's actually implemented.
Because if there weren't Republicans, if Biden continues to be president, more Democrats get in control, he'll be able to take away assault weapons. It's what he wants to do.
Are you pro-choice?
Sure.
Okay, so then you're against Trump being in office that could possibly make other Republicans more pro-life, right?
No, I like Trump's stance on abortion, where he says that in extreme cases, he thinks that there should be allowed to have abortions, but he doesn't think that abortion should be like contraceptive. No, it shouldn't. Abortion shouldn't be a form.
Wait, but you think it should be pro-choice, right? Like you think that everyone should be able to have the choice, right? If they should have the choice, well, then you disagree with Trump putting multiple Supreme Court justices in office to overturn Roe versus Wade.
No, everybody does.
No?
No.
You're okay with people having restricted access to abortion even though you're pro-choice? Like, come on.
The reason I say I'm pro-choice is because everybody has a choice to whether or not they're going to have a child.
Not if these abortion laws force them to go through pregnancy.
No, the abortion laws don't force them to
they do. They quite literally do in plenty of states.
If you choose to lay down and have a baby with a man, then that was your choice. That's what
they didn't choose to have a baby. They chose to have sex, bud.
If they chose to have unprotected sex, then they should have known that would have.
Most people who have abortions is not due to non-protected intercourse. Most abortions come from failed contraception. About 51%.
Okay. Well, I don't think that abortion should be a form of contraception.
That's not what I was just saying. I said most abortions result from failed contraceptive.
Okay. Well, so what I said was I agree with Trump's stance on abortion, that during extreme cases, yes, you should be able to get an abortion. If you're raped, if you're forcefully impregnated, then yes, you should have a right to do what you want to do with your body.
Okay. So I don't see, what about like elective circumstances?
Like when you choose to have a baby, if you choose to have a baby, then you should take that responsibility. You shouldn't be able to take the life.
They didn't choose to have a baby. Like, for example, right? If my girlfriend got pregnant, right, should she be able to get an abortion in the first trimester?
Not once there's a heartbeat, no.
Wait, why a heartbeat? Why does heartbeat matter?
Because that is the first sign of life. I know your brain.
No, it's not. Life begins at conception.
Once there's a heartbeat, you should not be.
Life begins at conception. Most scientists disagree with you.
Okay, well then once conception starts, you shouldn't be able to.
Okay, so women who have IUDs are murderers? They should go to prison for the rest of their lives?
No, but I think once the
IUDs, not only can they prevent fertilization, they can also prevent implantation, which ends a human life, which under your view would be murder.
Your stance is contraception, and you're the one that thinks that's murder. I'm saying once.
No, I don't. Wait, my view isn't that it's a person at conception. I agree it's a human life at conception, but the qualifications for personhood relate to sentience, human sentience. They don't relate to particularly, right, fucking cellular human life.
Okay, once your heart starts beating, then you should not be able to take that life. You should not be able to stop a beating heart.
Why does a heart matter?
Because that's your source of life. That's what pumps your blood.
Wait, so should you be able to pull the plug on brain dead individuals?
If they decided to have a DNR.
But their heart. Wait, no. Wait, so brain dead individuals who are never going to come back in terms of their sentience, you shouldn't be able to pull the plug on them. That's your view?
No, I don't think you should. I think you should really, because a doctor.
So you should be forced to take care of them.
Well, when a doctor,
even though they're never going to come back.
A doctor recommended that we pull the plug on my dad, and he ended up living for another 6 years. So no.
Yeah, doctors can be wrong, but most of the time they're right.
Okay, I don't think you should pull the plug. I think
in no circumstances should you be able to pull the plug.
Abortion is murder. It should be illegal.
No, I'm asking about brain death. Should you be able to pull the plug?
I mean, that's the decision for a family member.
Oh, if it's a decision for the family, but they have a heartbeat.
Okay, but it depends on if there is no way for this person to come back to life.
Oh, so you care about sentience, not about heartbeat, because their heartbeat is still there. They're still alive under your worldview.
I care about both.
No, you care more about sentience. You care. So again, my point is that you don't give a shit about the heartbeat alone. You care about there being sentience. If you care about both, well, then they're not going to have value until they have sentience, because both are not present before them.
I care about the opportunity of a life to be fully developed and live, and a person.
So then it should be wrong for me to pull out.
Because they're deciding that they don't want to have.
So then it should be wrong for me to pull out, because if I do not pull out, well, then there's a life there.
It's semen. I mean, your skin cells have life.
Yeah, who gives a fuck about semen, because they're literal single cell organisms, each sperm, right? Who gives a fuck about a zygote? It's literally a fucking single cell organism. Why the fuck do you care about a zygote, bro? What the fuck?
One of your commenters said that your guest.
A zygote has more of a right over a woman's body than a fucking sentient human adult woman?
She said I'm an ex-felon, so I can't.
Adult sentient human women do not have the same rights to their own body as a fucking zygote under your view? Appreciate the handout, thank you.
No. I can vote.
What?
No. I think that abortion is murder. That's it.
Yeah, so you're literally saying a fucking zygote has more rights over a woman's body than herself. Someone who's fucking adult, sentient, and is a moral fucking agent.
Going into a womb and taking a life that God created away from this world.
Oh, of course, religion's involved.
I mean, religion is involved in everything.
No, it's not, right? Religion. There's no reason why religion should influence this. What happened to separation of church and state?
Religion influenced this country. What do you mean separation?
I don't think it should influence the laws. Because religion is false.
Country? You wouldn't have a country.
Well, typically, not all religions could I consider false, but
well, you wouldn't have
like Christianity is false. So like, I just don't believe in that shit at all.
Yeah, so you don't care about murder. You don't care about.
I do care about murder, right? Just not what Christians deem as murder.
Okay, well, it's not what Christians deem as murder.
It is. You're literally Christian, right?
Yeah.
What influences your idea of murder is literally the Bible.
No, what influences my idea of murder is what is my brain, me seeing what murder is, me understanding what a life is.
But you just predicated off of God.
Regardless, I understand what a life is. I'm
What
not
do you mean regardless, bro?
Regardless of whether it's what God says or what actually is, I can see what is in front of me.
What do you mean?
I can understand when something is alive and something is dead. I understand what the difference between murder and non-murder is. It doesn't have anything to do with what the Bible says murder is. Murder is murder. It's what English says murder is. Taking of a life.
No, English is not what determines what murder is. It would be dependent upon, right, your definition. Right? That's not English. That's your definition.
English as a definition of murder. If you look in the dictionary.
No, English doesn't have definitions of things. Okay. Right? There are particular senses of terms people use when using English.
So if I pick up an English dictionary that says English on the front of it.
Yeah, that doesn't mean that that's the only definition for English.
Okay. Well, murder is murder, dude. And a heartbeat that's murder. That's murder. If that life isn't trying to take your life, then you shouldn't take that life.
Okay. All right. Well, is there anything else you want to talk about, Arad?
No, I mean, one of your guests said I was a felon, so I can't vote. I wanted to say, yes, I'm a felon, and I can't vote. I got my rights back.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate you coming up.
That's the Second Amendment. I appreciate being on your show again. Last time you cut me off.
For sure. All right. Well, all right, everyone. I want to do this right now. I want to run over to Dean's Live real quick, right? We're going to do a little bit of a co-host real quick, everyone. And we're going to go talk about like a different topic. Why is being lesbian wrong? So if you want to come over, right, while I go and do a co-host with Dean, everyone, look up It's Dean, spam Parker Raid, spam love from Parker, everyone. Look up It's Dean, spam Parker Raid, spam love from Parker, everyone. We're going to go do that real quick, everyone. Only send make sure to go do that right now. It's Dean, right, with 2 A's and 2 N's. We're going to hit him up with a Parker Raid, and we're going to hit him up with a co-host real quick, everyone. Look up It's Dean, right? It's Dean with 2 A's and 2 N's. It's Dean, spam Parker Raid, spam love from Parker, everyone. I'll see you there in a second. It's Dean, 2 A's and 2 N's, everyone. Look up It's Dean, y'all.
Those are your 3 points. Do you have any more?
No, sir. Please address me.
So the first point, you said something about 38,000 Romans. That is absolutely nothing that appears in the Bible. There's no
3,800. Sorry.
Okay, so 3,800 Romans. Let me get rid of that. 3,800. Okay. Where can I find 3,800 Romans that testified to anything Jesus did?
1 second, I'm looking it up right now. Okay, what was your question again?
Well, you mentioned about 3,800 Romans being apparently following Jesus and or being fed to the lions. Where can I find that data that says there was 3,800 Romans that chose to be fed to lions rather than say no to Jesus?
Can I give you, I don't know how to give you a site. I don't have enough followers to show my screen, but I have an article right here. If you want, I can read it to you.
Yeah, you're saying there's 3,800 Romans, specifically Romans, who got fed to the lions? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So can I read you what I'm seeing here?
Sure.
It says modern historians estimate that during this period, known as, I can't even say that word, or great persecution, and extending several years beyond the reign of, can't say that word either, as many as 3,000 to 3,500 Christians were executed under the authority of the imperial edicts.
Yeah, where's the source for that? Like, who are they quoting?
This is, let me see. This is Wikipedia. This is like
right. Go to the source though.
This is historians.
I know. Go to the source within the Wikipedia article.
It's the source. This is the highlighted text that I'm reading in the source.
Well, Wikipedia is not a source, but inside of the Wikipedia article, you will find sources listed.
They're usually at the bottom. And Ken wants to know, Justin, if you have any recommendations on books regarding the Canaanites.
Yeah, I've got a bunch. Yeah. Okay, so
I can't find the.
I know you don't know how sources work on Wikipedia. That's fine. So it's fine. So early Christians, some of them Roman, some of them Jewish, some of them Greek, so on and so forth, were actually tried for their faith. Pliny the Younger writes about this specifically. So I'm not disputing that some early Christians were persecuted for their faith. But I would say that that falls in line with the second point that I think you were making, which is that why would people die for a lie? And as it turns out, people die for a lie all the time. 900 people gave their lives for Jim Jones. 70 people gave their lives for David Koresh. Many thousands of Muslim people give their lives for their faith. So I don't actually find it to be compelling that Christianity has martyrs, because every religion, people are willing to become martyrs. Right?
One second. Okay, I'm back. So what did you say again? I'm sorry.
Said every religion, just about, there are people that are willing to become martyrs for the religion. It doesn't demonstrate that the religion is true. 900 people gave their lives for Jim Jones, and that was actually pretty recent. Was it the 1980s?
Right, but why were they so convinced that he was the truth that they would die for him?
Because they believed that he was the Messiah. They believed that he was sent by God, and they believed that he did miracles and healings and things like that. And they believed it so much that they were willing to give their lives for it. 900 people.
They had eyewitnesses.
70s. I'm saying 1978 or 1979.
Yeah, 79. Okay, almost 80s. Yeah, so 900 people literally committed suicide for their cult leader.
Thank you, Demon Girl, for resubscribing, my dear. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Demon Girl. Yeah, so listen, people sacrifice their lives for their religious beliefs all the time. In fact, most of the people that were kamikazes in the World War I and II, those kamikaze pilots were doing it with the understanding that the Japanese emperor was divine, that they were getting a divine command from God.
Right, but the reason that these people died was because they seen eyewitness testimonies. They have speak to the eyewitness testimonies.
No, we don't know that. In fact, most of the Christians that were persecuted, most of the Christians that were persecuted came long after Jesus was already passed away. They weren't eyewitnesses to anything.
Right, but what about the eyewitnesses who did?
What about them? 900 people were eyewitnesses to Jim Jones's ministry.
I mean, Judas was a follower of Christ, and he betrayed Christ, and he hung himself.
Well, kind of. It depends on which narrative you read. If you read the book of Acts or you read the Gospels, there's two different stories, right? So what I'm trying to tell you is that somebody willing to give their lives for their cult leader is not evidence that their cult leader is like true.
But the thought of someone dying and losing their life for something that you think isn't true
couldn't make sense to me. And the many like people who
I didn't
had
say that. I don't know.
You don't
I don't know
believe
why
in Jesus,
I don't know
so
why every Christian brings this.
believe in it.
Every time we talk about this, I hear this every single time. I am not saying that the Christian martyrs gave their lives for a lie that they knew was a lie. Obviously, they were convinced that it was true, but that doesn't make it true. We have people of every different religion who believe a lie so much that they believe it's so true that they're willing to give their lives for it. Charles Manson, people were willing to commit their lives to Charles Manson.
1 second.
So that's not good evidence. Just saying people were convinced enough that they were willing to give their life for it, that's not good evidence. Some angry typing.
Sorry. My keyboard is loud.
Yeah. So the next point, the healings, you talked about them being kicked out of the synagogues.
Yeah.
Synagogues technically weren't actually in use in the first century. That's kind of anachronistic. They probably would have been presented to the temple in Jerusalem, and they weren't excommunicated from the assembly. That's not in the Gospels anywhere. That's just something that you kind of made up. So I don't know where you got that.
I'm pretty sure that's in the Bible, no? Hold on.
No, it's not there.
Yes. Other sin. Okay, hold on. Okay, where did they bring the blind man? Where were the Pharisees when the
Pharisees?
The Pharisees. Where were the Pharisees at when that the blind man met them? Where were they?
Most likely in a temple.
What was the temple called?
The temple.
Oh, it was just called the temple?
Yeah.
Why was it didn't have a name? Because now
yeah, it was also called the House of Yahweh.
Synagogues? No?
It was called the House of Yahweh.
The House of Yahweh. Okay. Well, the House of Yahweh, whatever it is, synagogue. They went there and it was
That's not what a synagogue is. A synagogue is a Greek word. All right, never mind. It's fine. Listen, whoever Jesus healed, right? The person who was presented before the Pharisees, they weren't removed from worshiping at the temple.
No, they were. It says in the Bible they were thrown out.
I know they were tossed out. That didn't mean they never come back.
Well, what is it? What does being thrown out mean to you? They just literally picked them up and threw them out.
Yeah, they removed them.
As in picking them up and throwing them out?
No, I didn't say they picked them up and threw them out. You just removed. It's an idiom. You know how idioms work, right?
Yes, I know how idioms work.
Yeah.
Okay, but I also have another question about the 5,000 people that Jesus fed.
Oh, I have lots of questions about that.
Really? How could 5,000 people claim to be fed by Jesus?
They
but
didn't.
It not be true.
They didn't.
So then, who did Jesus feed?
Nobody.
So then,
if 5,000 people were miraculously fed by Jesus on the shores of Galilee, I would expect a handful of them to tell that story to others and to somebody to write that story down. But that story doesn't exist in any secular sources. In fact, that's the one story of the Bible, even though it's a doublet. There's another one where he fed 4,000. That's the one story of the Bible that I see it being the least credible out of all the stories of the Bible, because somebody would have said something to somebody else and somebody would have wrote that stuff down, yet they didn't. The only story that ever survived is the narrative from the Gospels. You're telling me that not a single Roman or secular source wrote that down? That's crazy.
So this is just basically, you don't believe in the Bible and I do.
I'm saying is that story in particular is the most egregious story of all the stories about Jesus. Now, I'm sure you believe that the Bible's true. I don't believe that the Bible's true. I'd be willing to let you convince me that the Bible's true. Is there a compelling reason why I should believe that the Bible's true?
The many people who died in the name of Jesus because they so greatly believed that he was the Messiah, the Son of God.
Okay, so that's back to the other argument that you started previously that doesn't work. So being willing to die for something doesn't make it true.
I know, but it's not them being willing to.
Then why do you keep saying it?
They didn't
Why
have
do you
the
keep,
choice.
if you know it's not helpful, why do you keep saying it?
They had the choice to live and they had the choice to die, right? And they chose to die because they did not want to deny their God.
I know, and so did 900 people when Jim Jones had them drink the Kool-Aid. They had the option to leave. They could have left. You know, some of them left, right?
Let me actually look this up.
They were interviewed by the press.
When was this?
1978, 79. Have you never heard of Jim Jones? These Christians, man.
Let me see.
Okay, so people are willing to give their life for their beliefs or things they claim to have witnessed all the time. It's perfectly normal. Are you aware that over 20,000 Parthians sacrificed their lives for the resurrected Nero?
Who's the resurrected Nero?
He was
there's all these like stories and like things that I've never heard of, and they're not heard of for a reason.
Yeah,
Does that make
because you
sense?
haven't done any homework. See, that's the problem. I have. So 20,000 Parthians believe that they were being led in battle by the resurrected Emperor Nero. And they literally thought they were going to march into Jerusalem and reinstall Nero as emperor now that he's risen from the dead. And of course, they got unalived by the Romans. They were just I can't say the word, mercilessly destroyed by the Romans.
Why?
Bro, if you keep banging that keyboard, it's not going to work tomorrow.
Yeah, no. Nah, it's just loud. It's like, I don't know what's wrong with it. Wait, so I'd like context on why, like,
why
the
what?
Kool-Aid happened. Why did they die for the Kool-Aid again?
They didn't die for the Kool-Aid. They died for Jim Jones. They believed that Jim Jones was the Messiah incarnate.
Right, but why
the
did they
same
take
way,
the Kool-Aid?
Because they were convinced of all of his teachings and his miracles and things like that.
No, but what was like the reasoning of the Kool-Aid? What did the Kool-Aid do?
It unalived them. The reason why they took the Kool-Aid is because, according to Jim Jones's own
Why did they die
prophecies,
for Kool-Aid? What does Kool-Aid have to do with their resurrected king?
they didn't die for Kool-Aid. They died for Jim Jones.
What does Jim Jones resurrecting have
This
anything
guy's
to
really
do with
struggling.
Kool-Aid?
Jim Jones was a cult leader, and he convinced 900 of his followers to commit suicide by drinking Kool-Aid.
He convinced 900. So then it's not okay. So if you're convincing your own followers to kill themselves, does that not sound contradictory? Because Jesus,
No, because that's literally what Jesus did. Jesus said, if you want to keep your life, you will lose it. If you lose your life, you will find it. He said, pick up your cross and follow me. Whoever does not forsake their life is not worthy of following me. I did not come to being priest, but a sword. You must hate your mother and father to follow me. Jesus never once
but Jesus
said
did not go out
that
and
he
tell
was going to
people to kill
preserve your
themselves
life.
for
Jesus
him.
said over and over again, you will be persecuted because I am persecuted. They will lock you up and they will throw you in prison.
Right, but Jesus.
Oh, Sarah, thank you for the roads. Good to see you.
Right, but Jesus didn't go out and tell 900 people to unalive themselves in his name. Jesus said,
Jim Jones did.
Jesus said,
So?
keep my name and don't deny my name, for you will not have salvation.
Jim Jones did, though.
But he told 900 of his people to unalive themselves.
And then they did. And do you know why they did? Because they
truly
believed
believed
him.
that he was resurrected.
They truly believed his teachings.
Right,
So
but telling
being
900 of your followers to kill themselves.
So being convinced by someone's teachings enough that you would give your life is not evidence that the teaching or the person teaching is real.
Right. I think you using this Kool-Aid thing is not accurate because he
It is
told
accurate.
his followers to kill themselves. Unalive themselves.
It doesn't matter. They
Jesus
did
never
it.
said unalive yourself. Jesus
doesn't
said,
matter.
hold my name or you will
All right,
not
you're
have
not here.
salvation.
You're not actually hearing the point. Listen very carefully to my point. It doesn't matter if they taught different things. That's irrelevant. The point that you're bringing is that somebody's willingness to give their life for something gives validity to it, but it does not, because people are willing to give their lives for their cult leaders all the time. It doesn't make that they're cult leaders. It doesn't mean that they're true.
Did Jim Jones whatever the heck his name is, Jim Jones, right?
Honest atheist, honest theist. Thank you so much for the dino. What are you saying there?
His name
about
was Jim Jones.
That wasn't his birth name, I don't think, but that's what he went by.
I'll
Yeah.
just refer him as
At the
Jim
People's
Jones.
Temple?
Did Jim Jones promise salvation to them to go to heaven?
Oh, I'm not really sure, but it's also irrelevant.
Well, no, it is because
It's not
the
relevant.
reason-
So
it
I'll
is
try.
because-
I'll try this
listen,
one more time. I want you
just
to listen to
1 second. Just listen 1 second. The reason that
So I'm just going to try this one more time, okay? It doesn't matter what they taught. What they taught is irrelevant. What you're suggesting is somebody's willingness to give their life adds validity to the cult. And I'm telling you it doesn't, because people are willing to give their lives for their cult leaders all the time. It's completely irrelevant what they taught.
right, but
And
Jesus,
yes, he did promise his followers salvation, by the way.
okay, then that goes against what I was about to say because I did not know that.
But it's also irrelevant what he taught. He could taught that if you do what I tell you to, you'll grow 3 legs and your skin will turn purple. It's irrelevant. What we're talking about is whether or not people are willing to give lives for their belief systems, and does that validate their belief systems? And it doesn't.
Well, what would make, like, if you saw, like, answer this honestly, if you saw a man make a crippled person walk who could not walk, would you believe them? And if they said to honor my name, even if put to death, would you do it?
I don't know if I would, but I do know that if
Really?
somebody healed a
So then you're
crippled
dishonest
man,
with yourself.
I need you to listen to what I'm telling you now. If I saw somebody heal a crippled man, I would be willing to entertain the idea that this was a very special person. I would need more evidence, though, to just give my life for that person.
Right, but seeing the teachings of Jesus, I'm referring to Jesus, right? He said
Yeah,
that
but-
he's the Son of God. So if a
But
man saying he's the
you're
Son
also
of God,
you're also assuming that the stories about Jesus healing the crippled person is true. Why do you make that assumption?
what assumption?
Why are you assuming that when you read in the Bible that Jesus healed a crippled man that it's true?
Because there were many eyewitnesses.
Name one.
Okay, let me look it up because I do not have it memorized. Okay, so there are none by name, but
Okay, so how do you know there are eyewitnesses?
listen, because there were people who knew him when he was a cripple and knew him after he was
Who?
able to walk again.
Who?
Unnamed,
Okay, so how do you know it's true?
because it's in the Bible.
But why do you think the Bible's true? The Bible's full of lies, failed predictions, bad science. It says the earth is flat. You're aware the Bible says the earth is flat, right?
Where in the Bible does it say the earth is flat?
Job 38:14.
Where?
Job 38:14.
Job?
Job 38:14.
Is that even a book in the Christian Bible?
But don't play with me. You know Job is in the Bible. Bro doesn't know Job is in the Bible? Oh, come on.
Okay, Job what?
Job 38:14.
Okay. You want me to read it to you?
Yep.
The earth takes shape like clay under a seal. Its features stand out like those of a garment.
That's right. Yeah. What does clay underneath a seal look like?
Mason, how old are you?
18.
Yeah, he sounds about 18.
And you know none of this.
This is what clay beneath a seal looked like in the time of Job. In fact, this actually comes roughly just a little bit before Job. This is, I believe, the seal of Hezekiah. I could be wrong. I forget which one I pulled up. But anyways, the fact of the matter is this is what a clay seal looked like.
Okay, hold on.
As it turns out, this matches the biblical description of the earth every time it shows up in the Bible.
It is turned, please. So makes a beautiful impression. The clay was just in the darkness.
It also says there's a dome over top of the earth.
So
where?
So when it says that, it's referring to the earth's beauty, actually, is what I'm reading
No.
here.
It says it is, I don't know what you're reading, but the Bible says that the earth is formed like clay beneath a seal. That's what it says.
Right.
So
And
I don't
let me
know
read
what
you-
commentary you're reading from, but I could just read you what the text says. It just says what it says.
Right, but in the Bible, there's a lot of like meanings behind things, right?
Right. Yeah. As long as you can change the meaning of words, you can make it say anything you want to.
No, that's false because there's a lot of.
All right. So what does it mean that the earth is shaped like clay beneath a seal?
So let me just tell you what I'm reading here.
No, you use your own words. What does it mean to shape clay underneath a seal?
Okay, well, I'm not a Christian scholar, so let me tell you what Christian scholars have to say about this verse explaining it.
You know, I know what Christian scholars say already.
Right, but can I read you what I'm reading right here?
Sure, it's going to be wrong, I'm sure.
It says, as the seal makes a beautiful impression upon the clay, which in itself hath no form or comeliness, so earth, which in the darkness of the night lies like a confused heap, without either form or beauty, has quite a new face put upon it by the return of the morning light, and appears in excellence, order, and glory. And they stand as a garment, that is, the twilight and moonlight stand, as it were, dressed in a beautiful and magnificent garment, where the meaning is that the men and things of the earth, whether natural as living creatures, herbs and trees, or artificial as houses or other buildings, present themselves to our view, as if covered and adorned with elegant and beautiful clothing.
Cool. None of that addresses anything that we just read.
It
Job
does.
38:14 says that the earth is formed like clay beneath a seal. And
Right.
if you read in
Saying
Old
the seal
Testament,
makes a beautiful impression upon the clay.
if you read an Old Testament commentary from an Old Testament scholar, they will agree with me.
Then what does this say right here, written by
I
a
don't know.
Christian
I have no
scholar?
clue what you're reading. Who wrote
Well, Dan McClellan also touched base on this, and
It
he
says
even
the
read the
Benson
passage.
commentary.
it? Who wrote it?
The Benson commentary.
I'm asking
Nice,
you who wrote
Sydney.
it.
Benson commentary. That's
Yeah,
what
who wrote it?
it's in Job 38:14.
I'm asking you who wrote the Benson commentary.
Probably Benson, because it's called the Benson commentary.
So the Benson commentary was written by Joseph Benson in 1749. Is there a reason why I should care what a guy from 1749 had to say about Job 38?
Well, I mean, there's no reason for you to believe anything.
Right. So you have two eyes and a brain. You read it the same way I read it. It says the earth is shaped like clay beneath a seal. And I showed you a picture of what clay beneath a seal looked like. It's clearly flat, which is why it's possible for there to be a dome over top of the earth, because the firmament, which is rakia in Hebrew, literally means a hard dome.
Yes, but what it's saying here is that
Saying where?
it makes a beautiful impression upon the clay.
Yes, I'm sure it would.
that's-
and
it's stating- it's
clay,
showing
when
that
you
the world is
yes,
made
and when you impress
And
clay,
also, what
it
does
is
the
flat.
garment have to do with the
It
earth
is-
being flat?
It is flat. It doesn't say garment; it says skirt.
Okay, in NIV it says garment.
I'm sure it does. So
The
as
earth
it
takes
turns,
shape like clay under a seal. It
that's
features
right.
stand out
And
like those of a
how and
garment.
what is the
And the
shape?
garment is seen as beautiful, right? So
And
it's
what is
slapping
the
the earth with beauty.
hey?
Does that make sense to you?
What is the shape of that clay?
The shape of the clay, whatever the seal looked like.
Yeah. How are seals formed?
It doesn't matter the shape. It's not
It
talking about the
does.
shape.
It
It's talking about the
says
beauty that the scroll implanted on the shape.
you're not listening to what I'm telling you. It says that it is formed. It doesn't say that it's made beautiful. It doesn't say that it's dressed up. It says that it is formed like clay beneath a seal. And we know what clay beneath a seal is formed like. Every time it's flat.
Right, but then why does it say its features stand out like those of a garment? What does that have that anything to do with the flat earth?
Job 38:14. Let's pull up the full verse and we'll just go over it.
Now, what version are you reading?
I'm reading from the NRSV.
NRSV.
It says, have you commanded the morning since your days began and caused the dawn to know its place so that it might take hold of the skirts of the earth and the wicked be shaken out of it? It is changed like clay under a seal. It is dyed like a garment. Light is withheld from the wicked and their uplifted arm is broken.
Thank you. So it's talking about the difference between the garment and without the garment, the beauty.
It's not.
And then, say it again.
It's
Where are
not.
you reading this
Garment was
from?
never meant. Garment is not the purpose of this passage.
Job 38:14.
God is questioning Job on
what Bible are you reading this from?
God is questioning Job on the formation of the world.
What?
Do you know what's
Bible?
happening in the book of Job? Like,
What
do you know the
version are you reading this
storyline?
from?
All right, so
I can look
in
at the
Job
verse.
38, God is answering
That's
Job.
not my question. What version of the Bible are you reading this from so I can see the verse for myself?
I told you it's NRSV.
Thank you.
In
I
Job
don't know how many times
38,
you have to repeat yourself.
God is asking Job hard questions that he knows Job does not have answers to. He's demonstrating that God is superior to Job, right? That's why he says in the very beginning, the Lord answered Job out of the whirlwind. Who is this that darkens counsel by words without knowledge? Gird up your loins like a man, and I will question you, and then you will declare to me, where were you when I laid the foundations of the earth? The earth doesn't have any foundations. That's silly. Tell me if you have
I don't think you're
understanding.
reading from the real Bible, my friend. I think you're seeing a false.
That was Job 38, verse 4. Where were you when I laid the foundations of the earth?
Job 38, verse 4. Okay.
The whole chapter is God questioning Job about things that he doesn't know the answer to. That's why he says, have you entered into the springs of the sea or walked in the recesses of the deep? And one of the topics that he covers in this big dialogue is whether you even understand how the earth takes shape.
Richard, we don't read the King James Version because the King James Version is actually the worst translation. Even biblical scholars don't use it.
That's what I'm looking for.
Well, it's not the worst translation, but it's certainly not a good translation.
I can't see what you're seeing. That is
Thank you,
nowhere.
Chef.
It's
Yeah, the
turtles
King-
all the way down.
Yeah, sorry, it's turtles all the way down. The King James Bible is not worth your time. If you're really like in love with King James, try the New King James. That's a little better. Says, have you commanded the morning since your days began and caused the dawn to know its place so that it might take hold of the skirts of the earth? It's talking about how the dawn takes hold of the skirts of the earth and the wicked are shaken out of it. Just like you would shake a rug.
Is that Job?
Do you know what the skirts of a rug are?
Wait, hold on. Is that Job?
Job 38.
Yeah. Okay.
I feel like you might want to read all of Job.
The skirts mean his magnificent mysteries, the mysteries of his creation.
Incorrect.
Okay, and what makes you think it's incorrect? What is the meaning?
It says the skirts of the earth.
I know, but what is the meaning of the skirts of the earth? What
The
is
skirts of the earth is the edge of the earth. If you read anything in Hebrew, you'll understand that the definition of a skirt typically refers to the edge of something.
Maybe something simpler. Going back to, I think it's Joshua, where the day is held for, or the sun and moon are stood still for a day. That might explain this flat Earth theory to him a little bit better.
Right. And even skirt, that's not a great English translation. I love the NRSV, but it just means the edge of something. The Hebrew word kanaf just means the edge of something.
Okay, and what does the garment mean? Why am I seeing garment in the place of skirt?
It says like a garment. It's not saying that. So it says in verse 13, so that it may take a hold of the skirts of the earth or the edge of the earth, and the wicked will be shaken out of it. It says it is changed or formed like clay beneath a seal, and it is dyed like a garment. The entire description here is about flat objects, about an earth being shaken out like a rug by the skirts, about being pressed like clay beneath a field, like being like a dyed garment, which is also flat.
Right, but it's shown that it means the beauty of the earth. It's showing
No.
because the garment is beautiful,
Incorrect.
it's pressed on the earth.
This passage has nothing to do with beauty.
Okay, so then what does it mean by garment after Job 38 verse 4?
It's saying that the earth is formed like clay beneath a seal, and it is dyed like a garment. It's got colors on it, just like a garment would have colors on it. Because as it turns out, the earth does have an array of different colors. The whole passage is describing the earth using imagery of other things that just happen to be flat.
Okay, and when it says it's pressing the scroll the scroll upon the clay, it's showing its beauty, not that it's flat.
Doesn't say scroll.
Using the script. The what?
The seal.
The seal. The seal of. So it says using the seal to press on the clay makes a beautiful mark, right?
Yeah, that's adorable. It also makes it flat.
It does not make it flat. It's not.
Yeah,
representing
seals
it
were
being
flat.
It's not
All
representing
clay
it being
seals
flat.
were flat.
It's representing the beauty that the seal
All
gives onto
clay
the clay.
seals were flat.
It's representing the beauty the seal
not.
gives to the clay.
It's not.
Okay, then that's just your interpretation.
No, that's literally what it says. I'm just telling you what it says, and you're saying it says something other than what it says. If you need a guy from 1740 to tell you that the words mean something than what the words actually mean, then you're in a whole heap of trouble.
The seal?
Where's the edge of the earth?
It's a circle.
Where's the edge of the earth?
It's a circle. There is no edge.
Right. The Bible says it does.
No, it doesn't. You're interpreting it
Job
wrong.
38:14 says so that it might take hold of the edge of the earth.
You're interpreting it
That's
wrong.
what it says. I just told you what it says.
You're interpreting it wrong.
Have you commanded the morning since your days began and caused the dawn to know its place so that it might take hold of the edge of the earth?
Again?
Have you commanded the morning since your days began and caused the dawn to know its place so that it might take hold of the edges of the earth?
The edges?
It's plural.
So then it's not saying skirts. Where does it say skirts?
That's why
They're
I'm telling
reading
you
many
the English word,
interpretations.
skirts is just a translation. It's an interpretive translation. The literal Hebrew word there, kanaf, just means the edge of something, the extremity of something.
Saint Justin.
Mm-hmm.
Saint. You're a saint.
I appreciate that.
I tell him that all the time. The patience.
Okay, I'm almost positive I can find a source, but I don't think I can do that in this.
Source for what?
For what the meaning of skirt is. You are interpreting it wrong. Whether
No,
it's
I'm
what
not.
Bible you're reading or what studies you're looking at, it's wrong.
I can just show you in the Hebrew dictionary. Want me to get my Hebrew dictionary back here off the shelf?
Okay, let's see.
You do know that the host actually can read and speak Hebrew and Greek.
That's great, and I respect him for that, and I would love to see that.
I just told you. All right.
And Jesus spoke Aramaic.
Yeah, he
Miss
did.
Lulu, you should care because the Old Testament and the Septuagint were in Greek and Hebrew, so that language is relevant in this conversation when it comes to the original text.
Yeah, it
Bro,
was definitely
it's
relevant.
not angry typing, bro. My keyboard's just loud, bro. Stop shaming on my keyboard, all right?
No, there's definitely some angry typing going on there.
No, I'm not angry, dude.
Yeah, he's definitely angry. All right. I don't have a highlighter. Maybe I'll circle. Okay. All right.
Wait, but Jesus spoke Aramaic, and you're saying this is Hebrew, right?
It doesn't matter what Jesus spoke. We're reading a text that is written in Hebrew.
Okay.
All right. Let me flip my camera around.
What?
I'm going to flip the camera. I didn't mean to do that, actually. I didn't want to flip the camera. I wanted to mirror the camera, which I forgot that I can't do. I apologize.
You have to take off the green screen, darling.
Yeah. Okay.
It says Job in the Bible spoke Aramaic.
Yeah, there is some Aramaic words in the book of Job.
Okay, so then
so this
Aramaic
word
and Hebrew words in the book of Job?
Just focus. This word, sorry, it's backwards. You can take a screenshot and reverse it. This word kanaf in Hebrew literally says the wing or the extremity, which is, you can see it right here.
I'm having a hard time seeing anything now.
I know, because it's backwards. It says wing right here, extremity right here. That's the Hebrew word kanaf. So that's what the word means.
Where does it say skirt? It does not translate in English to skirt.
It is in my English edition as skirt. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
How do I know that your interpretation is valid?
I just showed you in the dictionary what it says.
You just said that it's your translation.
No, I showed you literally in the dictionary where it says that the translation of kanaf is wing or extremity.
But it did not say the word skirt.
I know. That's why I've told you the word skirt is in the NRSV translation. That's what they chose to translate it as. But that would be an interpretive translation, which is fine. I'm okay with that. It can be used to refer to the edge of a garment, the skirt of a garment. It's just the edge of something.
Right, but how come in the Bible that I'm reading it says garment and not skirt?
It doesn't.
It does. Can I?
No, it doesn't.
I wish I could show you.
You're reading 14. I'm reading 13. Job 38:13 doesn't say garment. Read 13.
13 says that it might take hold of the ends of the earth, that the wicked might be taken out of it.
The ends of the earth. How do you have an end of an earth on a sphere?
It's
Put the green screen back, honey.
Oh, right. When you don't like it, it's metaphorical, of course.
To the ends of the earth. When you say,
everybody,
I'm going to run
or
to the
everybody,
ends of the earth, you don't
or everybody
mean,
in the ancient world,
to the edge of the earth.
Yeah, or everybody in the ancient world believed that the earth was flat with a dome over top of it, including the writers of the Bible. Which is why in Isaiah 40, the author calls it a disc.
Isaiah 30. Can you give me that
40.
verse? 40? Isaiah 40 what?
Isaiah 40:22.
Richard, he turned away from Christ because he read the Bible.
Yeah.
What now?
No, she's addressing somebody in the comments. Thank you, Parker. Says, he who sits enthroned above the disk of the earth. Some translations say circle, but
yeah.
appropriately it should say disk. And its inhabitants are like grasshoppers. Do you think that God sits enthroned on top of the firmament and like watches humanity from on top of the firmament?
Do I believe? No, God is omnipresent.
Oh, no, he's not.
God does not sit on top
You don't think
of
that
the earth.
you don't think that he has a throne on top of the firmament?
I believe he has a throne in heaven.
Do you believe that heaven is on top of the firmament?
I'll tell you right now.
Because Psalm 150 verse 1 says so. It says, "Praise the Lord, praise God in his sanctuary, praise him in his mighty firmament." Isaiah 63:15, "Look down from heaven and see your holy and glorious habitation."
It says that the firmament is heaven.
The firmament is part of the heavens. It's the outermost. Thank you, Big Ass Pancake, for 5 subscriptions. It's the outermost region of Hashemayim, the heavens. And on the other side of the heavens is God's throne where he sits.
Right, but here it says that the firmament is heaven.
It's not.
So then why did God call the firmament heaven?
The firmament is part of the heavens. So the word firmament in Hebrew is rakia. It refers to something that is hard and solid. That's why it calls the firmament hard as a cast metal mirror. That's Job 37:18. It says, "With him you have spread out the skies, strong as a cast metal mirror."
Waters. I'm trying to find the verse where God calls the firmament heaven.
It's Genesis chapter 1.
Genesis 1:7. Let me see. Oh, and separating the water.
You're aware that all of the ancient Jews believed that the firmament was a hard, solid structure. Like even the Jewish rabbis debated as to what it was made out of.
Right, but this is
Give me
Old
just a
Testament.
second. Give me just a second.
Doesn't matter if it's Old Testament.
Defiance. Hold on. Defiance Project. Ain't no one scared that you here. This is a one-on-one debate. So either dish out the money to send the Zeus to get rid of the gas, or wait your turn. Have the patience of the spirit.
They got
Continue,
no patience.
gentlemen.
They got no patience.
Way to lay down the law,
Scared
miss.
me, scared. Yeah, go ahead, Mason. Continue the conversation.
So it says, so God made the vault and separated the water under the vault from the water above it.
Mm-hmm.
So is that what you're saying shows that heaven is above the firmament?
No. The heavens includes the firmament. Hashemayim in Hebrew is literally the heavens, plural. There are multiple components to the heavens.
So what you're saying is the firmament is heaven.
No.
So what do you firmament is a part of heaven, is what you're saying?
Hashemayim in Hebrew refers to the skies. The heavens in the Old Testament is not a celestial kingdom far away. It's the skies right above your head.
Right, but it's unseen.
No, it's incredibly seen. It's the clouds, it's the sun, moon, and stars. All of those things are in the heavens.
The sun, moon, and stars, but how come I can't see heaven?
Because the heavens is the skies. I don't know how more clearly I can say this. The Hebrew word Hashemayim means the skies or the heavens. The skies and the heavens are the same in the Hebrew Old Testament. There's no imaginary celestial kingdom that shows up in the Old Testament.
Right, so if the skies are the heavens, the very skies that are above us, how can I not look up and see heaven?
You can. When you look up and you see the clouds, you're looking at Hashemayim.
Okay, well, heaven is said to have people in it. So how come I don't see people rejoicing in heaven?
Incorrect. You won't find that in the Old Testament in any Hebrew passage ever.
That people don't go to heaven?
Yep.
Really?
Well, there are people that go to heaven, but they go in bodily form, just like God is there in bodily form on top of the firmament.
Right. I'm not saying their flesh is there. Obviously not.
Well, Enoch is there in flesh. And so is Elijah. They were both taken up in flesh. Yeah, because the Bible's a lie. That's why you can't see them. Because there are no deities up on top of the firmament.
Right. So can he die?
Who?
The ones in heaven in the flesh.
They do. Yeah, of course they're dead. Because God doesn't exist.
Right. So if they're in the flesh, what is the point of the flesh if the flesh cannot die? Why are they in the flesh? Why not just in the spirit?
Because that's how God chose to take them.
So you can't answer the question of why they are?
I answered the question. The reason why they're in the flesh is because God took them that way.
I know, but God doesn't take the flesh. He leaves the
He
flesh
does.
behind and brings the soul.
Incorrect. Have you not read how Elijah went up to heaven in a fiery chariot in a whirlwind?
The verse again?
When Elijah went up to heaven in a
No,
whirlwind.
but what's the verse that says that in the Bible?
It's in the book of Kings. Let me find it. I always forget if it's First Kings or Second Kings. I think it's First Kings though. Let me see.
Someone in the
No.
comments is asking you to explain the Tower of Babel to him as well.
Oh, it's got to be First Kings. I'm looking at it right now. What about the Tower of Babel?
He wants you. Someone in the chat wanted you to explain the Tower of Babel to
Like,
guess.
what about it though?
I don't know. That's what they commented.
I'm not sure what they want to know about it. So I was right. It was Second Kings. Sorry, Second Kings chapter 2.
I wonder how high Enoch and Elijah went because, there's no
Yeah.
oxygen like way up there. So
Those are small potatoes to God. He doesn't care about those pesky
Oh,
scientific facts.
to bring clarity about the heavens and the firmament. That's what they meant by the Tower of Babel.
I'm not sure what that has to do with anything either. I don't understand the question. So in 2 Kings chapter 2, verse 11, it says, they continued walking and talking, and a chariot of fire and horses of fire separated the two of them, and Elijah ascended in a whirlwind into heaven. So
I think that was his mom
oh, was that? I didn't hear what happened. What's going on? Thank you for the hearts.
knocking.
Yeah, if someone come get your boy.
Building up the tower to get to God, so God thought they get to him.
Yeah. If you read the book of Jubilees, it explains it actually. The tower was a problem for the gods because they were worried that mortals would be able to storm the heavens, and it shows up in the book of Enoch too a little bit. The idea that mankind could build a structure so high that they would meet the heavens was a very real problem. It's one of the reasons why Humbaba had to monitor the forest below the mountain of God and keep intruders from getting up there. Because, and even the ancient ziggurats were all given names. Like
Hello, Justin?
Yeah, what's going on, Lamb?
I've got to go, dude.
All right, it was good talking to you, man.
Yeah, good talking to you too, dude. Later.
Cheers.
Yep.
Richard is chirping in the comments, so at least I know that's a guest that is still active.
Well, it's midnight now. I gotta get some sleep. Unfortunately, it took a long time to get started, but yeah, the mom was tracking. You're right, and I think he was 16. So a lot of the ancient ziggurats were actually called like the bridge between heaven and earth. Really interesting, right? And so like they believed that the ziggurat, they could build a structure tall enough that a god, their chosen deity, would want to come down, descend from the heavens, and like commune with mankind. In fact, they had rooms on the very top of the structure where the deity could get food and rest and water and lay down and whatnot. And then there was usually a temple nearby at the foot of the ziggurat where people would come to worship and pray to that deity. So yeah, I would recommend on this particular topic, please read The Cosmic Mountain. The Cosmic Mountain was a PhD dissertation by a guy named Richard Clifford, who was a professor for a long time at Boston College. But The Cosmic Mountain is an awesome, awesome book if you want to explore this particular topic. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for being here. And thank you for all the gifts and the support and the likes. Please thank your moderators. Remember to thank your mothers. And we'll be back again on Wednesday night.
Yeah, see you guys Wednesday.
All right, love you guys.
Taken out by this guy. It is all good though. Nevertheless, we're going to be jumping right on into another game. And let's get it rolling here, guys. All right, let's get it rolling. Let's get it rolling. Ooh, this guy's going to get popped. GG, brother. GG, GG. This is a great time, guys, to say, if you guys are new here and you don't support anybody in the item shop, my code is just Sundry, SUNDRY. If you guys could go to the item shop, bottom right, type in my creator code. You'll see it on the screen right now. That'd be much appreciated. That's really the best way of supporting the channel. But we're going to pop off here, guys. We're going to get some wins. We're going to get some high kill gameplay. Let's get it rolling, guys, all right? Also, guys, this is another great time to say I have released some music recently. If you guys go to my TikTok bio, there's some good music in there if you guys are interested. Obviously, that's optional, but if you guys want some new music, you're getting sick of the country music or the rap that you're listening to, the kind of music I make is a little different than that. So go check it out. Let me know what you guys think. All right, but we are going to be jumping on into another game. Nevertheless, I know we died pretty quickly last game. So let's forget about that one and just jump right on into this one, guys. Hey, Veronica, welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a great day. I always land at this POI. I don't know. I like it a lot. We can try some other POIs. Somebody said, please try a different POI, one of the newer ones. I'm happy to try one of the newer POIs. I always land here. This is my go-to spot. So, yeah, I don't know. I like consistency, and I don't really like switching it up too much. But we could maybe switch it up here in a little bit. We'll see. We will see, guys. I just need to get a good gun off spawn for once. Oh, here we go again with a bad AR. All right, but we did get the SMG. We are chilling, ladies and gentlemen. We are chilling now. Boom, boom. Oh, we got a good chest here. Let's go. Guys, this is another great time to say if you are new here, guys, if you could keep clicking your screen, that is the best way of supporting the stream and the dream. If you just keep clicking your screen, it'll light up the stream, and it really helps us out a lot. Oh, boy. GG, buddy. That guy was good, too. GG, bro. See, guys, Unreal Ranked, it depends. Some players are good, some players aren't. The last guy that killed me last game right off spawn, he wasn't that good. He obviously just got the shotgun, and I couldn't hit him with my silly DMR. But that guy was actually pretty decent right there. All right, let's pop this. Nice. What do we got in here? Nothing worth our time. All right, let's go get